In a spacious classroom at the primary beast taming school, light streamed through the windows. The teacher stood at the podium, his voice echoing throughout the room. Students, there is less than a week left until the beast tamer exam. His voice was firm as his eyes scanned over each person, and tomorrow will be the assessment day for your beast tamer qualifications. Then he gently reminded them, all of you have already signed a contract with your very own first beast. So today, rest well, prepare thoroughly, and strive for the best possible results. The class started buzzing with small murmurs, and the teacher quickly reminded them, all right now. Class was dismissed. Lamtrak sat still in his seat, his gaze thoughtful. Outside in the hallway, whispers could be heard as a boy turned to his friend and sighed. We're about to have our beast tamer qualifications assessed. I'm so worried, the other guy replied. Who isn't? With our current strength, it's already very difficult to become an apprentice beast tamer, let alone a high-level beast tamer academy. That's completely out of the question. A rather rebellious-looking blonde guy suddenly burst out laughing. Ha 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 ha. My goal is the Beast Tamer Academy in Ninjiang City. Even though it's not a top-tier academy, with my strength, getting into a regular one won't be a problem. In contrast, the friend next to him was trembling with fear. He held his head and said, if I can't even qualify as an apprentice beast tamer, then I'll just have to be a normal person for the rest of my life. Lamtrak sat still, thinking to himself, the beast tamer qualification assessment is coming up, but I'm a transmigrator. What does that have to do with me? He replayed his memories. He understood this world was different from where he used to live, a world where humans had learned to tame ferocious beasts. They turned what was once a threat into weapons of war, creating a powerful system of beast tamers. That's right, a week ago I transmigrated into this body. By merging with the memories contained within this body, I also came to understand what kind of world this is. Hundreds of years ago, during the Great Cataclysm, countless ferocious beasts emerged from dimensional rifts, hunting humans and causing immense devastation. Afterwards, humans fought back, and in the brutal war, they gradually discovered how to control the ferocious beasts, making them fight. This is how the profession of beast tamer was born and stepped onto the world stage in this era of beast taming. Beast tamers naturally became a symbol of status and class. It could be said that becoming a beast tamer meant entering the elite echelons of society. The greatest dream for the young people of this world is to become a powerful beast spirit master. But in this world, all youths over 18 can sign their first beast contract. The higher their soul power, the higher the level limit of the pet beast they can form a contract with. But for Lamtrak, everything seemed to have gone off track. None of this concerned him because the original owner of this body, before I transmigrated, had already signed his first beast contract. He looked at the small creature in his arms, its fur soft as cotton, its eyes round and clear, and sighed inwardly. This little snowball is harmless to humans and animals. All it knows is how to be cute. This little guy not only has no combat ability, but it also can't evolve. Just then, snowflakes drifted down on a cold wind. Lamtrak couldn't help but think, does this mean in the future I'll just be an ordinary person living a mediocre life? The more he thought, the unluckier he felt. Other transmigrators either get a cheat system or possess world-destroying power. Dad, how can my turn be as unlucky as a crow? A classmate gently patted his shoulder and said comfortingly, Lamtrak, don't overthink it. It's okay if you don't become a beast tamer. Being a normal office worker so you don't have to risk your life out there isn't so bad. But it sounded less like comfort and more like mockery. Another heavy-set guy chimed in with a loud laugh. Ha ha, that's right. So what if you don't become a beast tamer? At worst, you can just take your little snowball to sell ice cream at the mall entrance. A few others chimed in. That's right, ha ha ha, selling ice cream and cold water isn't a bad gig. Hearing this, Lamtrak became furious, his face darkened as he growled, you guys. Just then, a voice sounded in his head. System fully charged, initiating startup, system activating, activation successful. And the achievement system is now online. Lamtrak's eyes widened in disbelief. This is my cheat system. No wonder it took so long to appear after I transmigrated. So it was because it was charging. He jumped for joy. Holy crap, this heavenly sound is amazing. My cheat system has finally arrived. A status panel appeared before him showing his and Little Snowball's information. Lamtrak, Physique 1.0, Soul 0.8. Level 0, Soul Power 80 out of 80, Soul Skills none. Pet Beast Little Snowball, Achievement Point 0. Note: the physique and soul attributes of a normal adult male are 1. Completing achievements earns achievement points and item rewards. Achievement points can be used to accelerate a pet beast's growth, unlock skills, strengthen the tamer's attributes, and so on. Reading this, Lamtrak was ecstatic. There's even this, so incredible. He then asked, "What about Little Snowball?" The system displayed a new panel for Little Snowball. Name Little Snowball. Attribute Ice. Level First Order Stage 1. Growth rate 23.48%. Skill Spout Cold Air. Growth rate can be increased through combat or consuming energy-rich items. Reaching 100% growth rate triggers evolution. After evolution, the pet beast's power will be greatly improved. Lamtrak's heart pounded as he read the words, reaching 100% growth rate triggers evolution. Evolution. It can actually evolve. Wait. He kept reading. The system presented 2 evolution paths. Optional evolution path, 1 path of the giant. Evolution method. Enhances close combat abilities, focusing on improving stamina and strength while weakening control over the ice element. Next evolutionary form, Snow Monster. Can evolve up to the 5th order. 2 Path of the Queen. Method strengthens the ice element and talent, focusing on improving spell-casting abilities while weakening close combat attributes. Next evolutionary form, Ice Crystal Soul. Can evolve to the King level. Lamtrak couldn't believe his eyes. But Little Snowball isn't supposed to be able to evolve. The more he thought about it, the happier he became. Could this be a hidden evolution path? In that case, I won't have to sell ice cream after all. Can I really become the Beast Tamer? His thoughts calmed. He realized the incredible advantage the system had given him. The Path of the Queen could even evolve to the King level. This is great. The system panel continued to display Path of the Queen. Next evolutionary form, Ice Crystal Soul. Conditions to be met, 100% growth rate. Low-grade Ice Element Essence X, 10 Soul Jade X, 20. Yes. He decided first let's try using achievement points to upgrade Little Snowball. The system's achievement panel announced First Pet Beast. You have successfully contracted with the first pet beast of your life. Achievement unlocked. You can receive 100 achievement points and Soul Crystal X1 completed. Reward available to claim. 1 Apprentice Beast Tamer Pass, the Apprentice Beast Tamer Qualification Assessment, and complete the first baptism. If the achievement is completed, you will receive 200 points and Soul Crystal X1. Successful enrollment. Receive an admission notice from any Beast Tamer Academy and get 300 achievement points, a Soul Crystal, and a Body Strengthening Crystal. He suddenly noticed something important. He quickly clicked it. There's 1 I can claim plus 100 achievement points and a Soul Crystal. Done. He then considered his next move. Next, I'll use achievement points to upgrade. The screen flashed. Ding ding, level First Order Stage 1, growth rate 23.48%, successful evolution. Level First Order Stage 2, growth rate 100%. Lamtrak stood in the small room, his eyes lighting up as he saw his pet beast, Little Snowball, glow brilliantly. He couldn't believe his eyes. It leveled up. It actually worked. But the system screen showed a notification consumed 77 achievement points, remaining 23 achievement points. Although it only lasted a moment, that blinding light was enough to make Lamtrak feel excited. But he quickly became pensive. Such a dazzling special effect. Only lasts for a moment? That's way too short. He looked at the newly evolved Little Snowball, feeling emotional. To think this little guy was classified as an E-rank pet beast. What an injustice. I still need to prepare more essence. Ice Element and a Soul Jade for evolution are the key 20 Ice Element essences and 1 Soul Jade. A normal person would never figure out this evolution method for this Little Snowball, but these things are not cheap at all. Lamtrak frowned and turned away. I need to get some money first, then go to the pet store to buy the evolution materials. Behind him, 2 guys who were teasing him burst out laughing. Ha ha ha, Lamtrak, are you planning to take your Little Snowball home to sell ice cream? Lamtrak looked towards the owner of the voice. It was none other than Jiang Hao, someone who always looked down on him. But Lamtrak paid him no mind, just gently patting the Little Snowball. Little guy, don't pay attention to this trash. Tomorrow's Beast Tamer qualification assessment is all up to you. The Little Snowball let out a soft meow. Hearing this, Jiang Hao clenched his fists, his eyes turning cold. Trash, what did you say? Although he was furious, reason stopped Lamtrak from stepping forward to fight him. He thought to himself, the Jiang family is the 2nd largest family in Jiangnin City. I can't afford to clash with him for now. We have to be careful. Turning to Jiang Hao Lam, Trak was unfazed and calmly replied, "We'll see who the real trash is after the Beast Tamer exam scores." Jiang Hao burst out laughing mockingly. "You, bringing along a stuffed animal that can't evolve. Ha ha ha, if I were you, I wouldn't even bother attending the Beast Tamer qualification assessment tomorrow, because there's no way you'll pass, ha 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 ha. Why don't you just hurry up and go home to sell ice cream?" Just then, a beautiful girl appeared. It was Quan Nin. Lam Trak's cousin Quan Nin had just witnessed the conversation. She immediately shouted, "Jiang Hao, don't be so unreasonable." Jiang Hao turned and continued, "Oh, so it's the great Miss Quan." Fine, I'm not being unreasonable. I'm just afraid of this piece of trash, ha ha ha." The kid next to him chimed in with a laugh, "Ha ha, I really don't know why. The great Miss Quan likes this piece of trash. Wouldn't it be so much better to be with our brother Hao?" Lam Trak shook his head, not wanting to waste time with them. He turned to Quan Nin and said, "Let's go. Anin, there's no need to argue with them. When the time comes, they'll understand." With that, he pulled Quan Nin away. "I have to go to the pet store. You can go home first." "Okay," Quan Nin replied softly. "Okay," after they left. Lam Trak stopped by the pet store to buy evolution materials. He couldn't help but frown at the price list. Even on his way home, he was still thinking, why are evolution materials so expensive? In the blink of an eye, my entire monthly savings are gone. Suddenly, a loud voice called from a distance. "Brother Lam Trak, you're back." Lam Trak replied. Anin. Quan Nin came over and asked softly, "Mom told me to ask if you want to come to our house for dinner tonight." Hearing this, he immediately agreed. "Sure, I'll come over tonight." Quan Nin hesitated for a moment, then asked Brother Lam Trak, For tomorrow's Beast Tamer qualification assessment, can you go with me?" Lam Trak smiled, "Of course. After all, you're also taking the qualification assessment." Quan Nin's eyes lit up, "Really? That's great, Brother Lam Trak. You have to put that Jiang Hao and his gang in their place." Lam Trak nodded firmly. "Don't worry. I will surprise everyone." Getting Lam Trak's agreement, Quan Nin smiled happily, ran into her house, and said goodbye. "Okay, it's a deal then. See you at my place for dinner later, Brother Lam Trak." "Okay." After returning home, Lam Trak looked at the little snowball and said, "Just a low-grade ice element essence and a soul jade. And it's already this expensive. Come on, little guy. Leveling you up in the future is going to cost a lot of money." The little snowball cried out again. That night, Lam Trak fed the evolution materials to the little snowball. "Here, little one, eat this and you can evolve." The greedy little snowball pounced on it and ate everything. It made him burst out laughing. "Eat slowly. No one's going to steal it from you." Immediately after, a bright light flared up, accompanied by a loud burp from the little snowball. Burp. Whoa! Lam Trak was shocked. Is it really about to evolve? It's so bright. A dazzling light filled the entire room immediately after the cute little snowball transformed into a beautiful humanoid child. New information appeared on the system panel. Ice Crystal Soul name, Ice Crystal Soul element, Ice level, Tier 2 Stage 2, Growth 0% skills, Ice Prison, Extreme Cold Domain Path Queen, Next evolution form. Snow Maiden requirements, 100% growth, 10 to 20 mid-grade ice element essences, 1 ice snow heart. Lam Trak held his breath looking at the little snowball. "No, I should call it Ice Crystal Soul now." He thought to himself, the evolution was a success. Ice Crystal Soul. The system displayed its level as Tier 2 Stage 2. Lam Trak couldn't help but be surprised it jumped an entire tier, he marveled to himself. Right now, for the senior students at Bin Hai No. 1 High School, the average pet strength is around Tier 1 Stage 3 to 5. I can't believe I jumped directly to Tier 2. The Ice Crystal Soul then pressed its face against Lam Trak's. He shivered so cold. Just being near it makes me feel cold. The air in the entire room seemed to freeze a space filled with cold. It seems its strength increased even more than I imagined. At this moment, the system panel appeared before his eyes again. Lam Trak's first evolution complete. Received 100 achievement points and 1x reinforcement crystal. He smirked, thinking to himself, if the system hadn't pointed out what materials the little snowball needed to evolve, no one would have used these materials to raise such a weak pet. Immediately after his fingers swiftly tapped the claim button, he was confident that this gamble had paid off. He then chose to withdraw them immediately. The 2 precious materials materialized, enveloped in a sparkling light soul crystal. Reinforcement crystal. Lam Trak stared at the 2 items. He couldn't help but feel excited. The soul crystal can increase soul strength, and soul strength determines the number and level of contracted pets. Moreover, the reinforcement crystal directly increases my physique, which is very important. He immediately swallowed the 2 items. Lam Trak's whole body felt like its power was being unlocked. His eyes suddenly lit up. A current of power seemed to run through his body, sparking with electricity. It seemed to be a sign of evolution. At this moment, the system updated his status. Lamb track. Physique E to 2, soul 0.8 to 1.8, soul power 80 to 180 pet ice crystal. Soul tier 2, stage 2. Achievement points 123. Lamb track clenched his fist and punched the wall. He could clearly feel the power surging through his body. He no longer felt cold, but instead felt a continuous flow of strength. He watched as the bricks on the wall easily crumbled. He thought to himself, although I don't need to personally join the battle, having a strong physique is always a good thing. In a dangerous situation, my chances of survival will be greatly increased. At this moment, the ice crystal soul was hugging Lamb Trake's leg, whimpering in fear. Suddenly, a thought flashed through his mind. He had to go all in. Lamb Track didn't hesitate any longer. He decided to spend all his achievement points, use all achievement points immediately after. He transferred all the newly acquired energy to the ice crystal soul. Spend all achievement points to level up. The system quickly responded. Level Tier 2, Stage 2, Growth 100%. 123 achievement points level Tier 2, Stage 4, Growth 24%. Looking at the information before him, Lamb Track smiled confidently, thinking, just wait until tomorrow's assessment. I will definitely shock them. The next morning, as Lamb Track was on his way to the assessment, a clear voice called out from behind him. It was Quan Nin, brother. Are you ready? Lamb Track turned his head full of confidence. Of course. I'm going to get my Beast Tamer qualification today. Quan Nin replied happily. That's great. But then she asked curiously, brother, why are you suddenly so motivated? If it were before, you would never have participated. Lamb Track shrugged with a faint smile, his eyes turning sharp. Because people change. Not far away, some female students were gossiping. One girl, clearly jealous, said, hey, that's Quan Nin, the genius senior from Bin High No. 1 High School. Why does she always hang out with that loser? The blonde girl next to her showed her disgust. Who knows? I heard Chow Hung confess to her yesterday and got rejected. Why does everyone like her so much? What's so great about her anyway? The other girl heard this and warned her to stay out of trouble. Just keep your voice down. Lam Trak heard every word of the gossip, but he didn't care much. He thought to himself, Quan Nin is my cousin, and she's also the genius of No. 1 High School. Many in Bin High admired or envied her, but she never seemed to care about others. Suddenly, Quan Nin grabbed his hand. Hey, she said with excitement. Are you really going to use Little Snowball for the qualification assessment? Linza nodded without hesitation. Of course. Don't you underestimate Little Snowball. Quan Nin laughed, hugged his head, and said happily, if we all pass today, let's go celebrate. Linza was surprised as his face was pressed against Quan Nin's full chest, letting out a small, embarrassed cry. Quan Nin didn't seem to mind and continued, there's a shop I've wanted to visit for a long time. Linza was still blushing and flustered. Just then, an angry voice yelled, Quan Nin, you stop right there, as an aggressive girl with furious eyes approached. She's the one who stole my man. Quan Nin frowned. Who are you and who is your boyfriend? The girl bristled with anger and shouted, it's Chuxiong. Quan Nin raised an eyebrow, remembering what he looked like. So it was the guy who confessed to her today with rainbow hair and a cheesy rose. She replied boredly, oh, you mean that immature brat. Quan Nin sneered, crossing her arms. Sorry, I'm not interested in him. He confessed, but I turned him down. The other girl growled, looking somewhat cute. Nonsense, you must have seduced him first. Then Quan Nin pulled Lin Zi's hand and said coldly, let's go. We don't need to explain anything to them. We have more important things to do. The young man beside her stepped up, clenched his fist, and grabbed Quan Nin's shoulder. Hey, are you ignoring me? Did I say you could leave? You messed with my sister, so don't blame me for what happens next. Quan Nin struggled, shouting, let go. But as she broke free, he stepped forward again. With a provocative gaze, he swung his fist. Taste my power, you little bitch, before Quan Nin could react. Linza stepped in front of her with a cold gaze, blocking the punch with one hand. The other girl sneered. Everyone knows her cousin is useless. The young man sneered, trying to be a hero saving the damsel in distress. You should know your own limits. Hearing that, Lin Zi flew into a rage and sent the guy flying several meters with one punch. His sister screamed, brother Lin Zi, then calmly walked over to the guy. I'm her brother. If you have a problem, you come to me. Hearing this, the guy scowled, looking as if he wanted to eat him alive. Watching the situation, Quan Nin thought to herself, so brother Lin Zi is actually this strong. Linza also marveled to himself, I didn't expect the physical enhancement to be this powerful. The young man was furious, raising his hand to summon. If you want to die, don't blame me. He swung his arm and shouted, summon. Instantly, a light flashed, and a Tier 2 Stage 1 beast-type gloom wolf appeared. Its body was covered in gray-blue stripes, its glowing eyes radiating a cold, killing intent. "That's a Tier 2 Stage 1 beast-type gloom wolf." He laughed mockingly, "Ha-ha, just two high school kids. And you dare to face my Tier 2 gloom wolf?" Quan Nin was startled. She thought, "That's right, my pet is only a Tier 1 Stage 7. Even if I'm confident, the chance of victory is very small." But there was no other choice. Quan Nin gathered her courage, preparing to fight. Just then, a figure stepped in front of her. It was Lin Zhe. She shouted, "Brother, what are you doing? Brother, you can't be thinking of using little Snowball to fight him?" Lin Zhe narrowed his eyes, ready for battle, and told her, "If you get injured, it will affect your assessment. Just leave this to me." The sister's mocking laughter rang out again. "Ha ha ha! Have you gone mad with fear? Just relying on the guy with the worst aptitude in Bin Hai, and you dare to act so tough. Big brother, teach them a lesson." Hearing this, the guy commanded his pet with fervor, "Go!" Just then, a faint blue light flashed, and Lindsay's pet little Snowball appeared. But what stunned everyone was, it was no longer the ordinary little Snowball. The small spirit beast had transformed into a new form, its eyes glowing as a frosty aura filled the space. Quan Nin was astonished. "Is that little Snowball?" Lindsay turned and explained cheerfully to Quan Nin, "Little Snowball has evolved." Seeing his pet frozen by a single move from Little Snowball, the guy desperately shouted, "Move, Gloom Wolf!" Lindsay quickly explained to Quan Nin it's now called Ice Crystal Soul. The blonde guy turned pale and shouted, "No, impossible. You're just a high school student, so your pet should only be a Tier 1 Stage 9 at most. How could you possibly defeat my Tier 2 pet?" The sister panicked and backed away. "Big brother, what do we do now?" He gritted his teeth, knowing deep down that he had already lost. "I can't believe it also has a higher-level Tier 2 pet. We've lost. Let's go." But as they turned to leave, Lindsay's cold voice rang out. "Did I say you could leave?" His breath hitched. The blonde guy gulped, seeing Little Snowball ready to strike. "I'm sorry, sir. We were wrong." Lindsay smiled faintly. "Am I the one you need to apologize to?" With no other choice, the blonde guy turned to Quan Nin, bowing his head in humiliation. "I'm so sorry, classmate Quan. We were wrong. Please forgive us this time. I'll teach Chu Xiong a lesson when I get home." The resentful sister whimpered, "Big brother." Then he punched her right in the face with a threat. "What are you standing there for? Hurry up and apologize." Quan Nin crossed her arms, looked at them for a moment, then sighed. "Just forget it. You can go." The two of them trembled, bowing their heads. "Yes, yes, yes." Lindsay stroked Ice Crystal Soul's head and praised it with a smile. As soon as they were dismissed, the two fled. Quan Nin turned to him, her eyes shining. "Brother, you're incredible. How did you do that? That was a Tier 2 Gloom Wolf?" She looked at Little Snowball. "Ah, no." At Ice Crystal Soul and asked curiously, "What's an Ice Crystal Soul?" "Little Snowball can evolve." Lindsay nodded but didn't explain. "That's right, but we're short on time. We can talk about this later. We need to get to the assessment venue quickly." The two of them hurried off. They headed to the Beast Tamer Association. Before them stood a giant monolith, the Origin Stone. Quan Nin's eyes widened amidst the crowd's excited chatter. "So that's the Origin Stone. It's huge, but it's not that surprising." Lindsay didn't reply, but his eyes shone with determination as he thought, "This is the final assessment of the year. Some will forever lose their chance to be beast tamers, while those who succeed will join the Beast Tamer Academy and begin a new life." He clenched his fists. "I must succeed." A voice pulled everyone back to reality. A man was leading a group to the stage. "Welcome everyone to the Beast Tamer Qualification Assessment. For apprentices today, everyone will receive a small bronze medal inscribed with low, medium, high, or super. This is your key to the stone's illusionary realm. You must choose the difficulty of your trial. The harder the trial you overcome, the greater the rewards. Please look at the screen." An info panel appeared on the large screen. Low difficulty upon completion, you will earn the qualification of an apprentice beast tamer. Soul +1. Pet growth rate +5%. Medium difficulty upon completion, you will earn the Apprentice Beast Tamer qualification Soul +2 pet growth rate +10%. High difficulty upon completion, you will be promoted to Intern Beast Tamer. Soul +3. Physique +2. Designated pet growth rate +20%. Unlock a second beast slot. Super difficulty upon completion, you are promoted to Intern Beast Tamer. Soul +5. Physique +3. Designated pet growth rate +30%. Unlock a second beast slot. The crowd gasped in amazement. "The appeal is incredible," a candidate exclaimed with desire. "If I could just pass the super difficulty." That would be great, but a mocking voice immediately interrupted Dream on not even 1/10 of the people can pass the advanced difficulty. So this time I have to pass the low difficulty to get the intern beast tamer qualification first. Guanning turned to Linze and asked curiously, "Bro, which one did you pick?" Before Linze could answer, the host spoke up. "Before everyone chooses the test's difficulty, I have a piece of advice for you all. This is related to your future development. So everyone please consider carefully and choose a difficulty level that matches your own strength." Time's up. The screen displayed the statistics. Low difficulty, 46 people. Medium difficulty, 10 people. High difficulty, 1 person. Super difficulty, 1 person. The atmosphere became chaotic. Am I seeing things? Someone actually chose the super difficulty. Another person chimed in, "Yeah, I bet this guy is still half asleep." Another guy also yelled, "What kind of time is this to let your hand slip?" What an idiot. One guy even confidently said that no matter who it is, this guy will definitely not get into the Beast Taming Academy this year. But regardless of the surrounding chatter, Lindsay stood firm in his decision, his eyes gleaming with determination. Beside him, Guanning stared at the information board that had just appeared, her voice filled with astonishment. You actually chose the super difficulty. If you fail this year, you won't be able to get into the Beast Taming Academy." Lindsay chuckled, his eyes flashing with confidence. "Don't worry, I can judge for myself." The people around started gossiping when they saw his decision. Is he the one who chose the super difficulty? A few new students frowned while some whispered mockingly, "Did he press it by mistake? Is this guy an idiot?" A deep, steady voice rang out, attracting everyone's attention. "Kid, did you hear what I just said clearly? You have to choose carefully." The man looked at him doubtfully, but Lindsay didn't waver. "This is a decision made after careful consideration." The man raised an eyebrow, a menacing glint in his eyes, "You mean? You think you can pass the super difficulty?" Lindsay answered with conviction. "Of course." A burst of laughter came from the blue-haired man. "Ha ha, the youth are so full of passion. Well, I've given you my advice if you still want to play with fire suit yourself." After all the candidates had made their choices, he raised his hand and announced, "Since everyone has made their choice, I declare the test begins now." Linze felt a beam of light envelop him. When he opened his eyes again, he had entered the virtual world of the Origin Stele. Outside, the man watched him with an interested gaze. "Lindsay, is it?" "Very interesting." Linze opened his eyes, clearly feeling the difference, and confirmed, "It seems I've entered the virtual world of the Origin Stele." The system quickly provided information. Any injury sustained in the virtual world will not affect you in the real world, including the death of your pet beast. Lindsay smirked. "In that case, there's nothing to worry about. I can go all out." Just as he settled in, a notification appeared. "You have an unclaimed achievement. First victory defeated the Netherwolf." Lindsay was stunned for a moment, then burst out laughing, "Holy crap. I can even access the system in here. Claim it for me." Immediately, the system announced, "You have received 100 achievement points and a 1-star soul crystal." Without hesitation, he commanded, "Quickly use the 100 achievement points and the soul crystal." He clicked accept, and his stats quickly changed. Soul attribute increased from 1.8 to 2.8, growth rate from 24% to 44%. Tier 2 Stage 4 increased to Tier 2 Stage 6. Lindsay narrowed his eyes. "With this, my chances of winning are even higher." As the next battle began, a beast covered in crimson appeared before him. The notification board quickly displayed information. "Fire Lizard, Fire Type, Tier 1 Stage 7. He frowned slightly. Isn't this supposed to be super difficulty? Why is it only a Tier 1 beast? The Fire Lizard cried out and began to spew waves of fire. He immediately summoned his pet beast, Ice Crystal Soul. Use Ice Prison. As the Ice Crystal Soul appeared, the air seemed to freeze over. It quickly shattered the Fire Lizard's fire attacks. He remarked, "The Ice Crystal Soul's Ice Prison looks like my Ice Hammer is still more powerful." The first level was cleared. An announcement sounded. First of 5 levels cleared, continuing the challenge. This time, the opponent was a skeleton. The screen showed the information mummified monster. Undead type Tier 1 Stage 9. Lindsay smirked and shook his head. For others, a Tier 1 Stage 9 might be a little difficult, but for me, it's child's play. The voice of the man in charge echoed from afar, tinged with amusement. "This brat. Just now you were lucky because your attribute countered it. The real challenge starts now." However, Lindsay quickly passed it with ease. After the second monster was defeated, Lindsay proceeded to the next level. The system announced, "Second level cleared, continuing the challenge." In front of him, a giant shadow appeared. This is a withered beast plant type, Tier 2, Stage 2. Lindsay clenched his fists. The real battle begins now. The man watching from the outside mused to himself, from the looks of it, his pet beast is at most a Tier 2, Stage 1. It's now facing a Tier 2, Stage 2 withered beast. Even with his extraordinary talent, there's no way he can pass this level. The battle broke out. Lindsay ordered the ice crystal soul to attack first. The icy hammer flew forward, but only left a few small cracks on the withered beast's tough hide. This beast's skin is really thick. It actually blocked the ice hammer. Its crimson eyes glowed with rage as it sensed the opponent's killing intent. Two vines shot out from the monster's body. They wrapped tightly around the ice crystal soul, immobilizing it. The man watching from afar shook his head and sneered. Heh heh, even if this new student is powerful, this is as far as he goes. But very soon after, the withered beast let out a horrifying scream as if crying for help. Lindsay shouted a command, Arctic Domain. A sudden blizzard erupted around the ice crystal soul. The ground froze, slowing the withered beast down. Lindsay lowered his voice. Did you think we only have one skill? Ice hammer again. This time it struck the frozen weak spot on the withered beast's body. With a loud bang, its giant body collapsed to the ground. It's done. The screen displayed the notification again. Third stage successfully cleared. Continuing to challenge the two remaining stages, all-around sighs of frustration could be heard. Damn it, I was so close. I could have killed that pet beast. Another guy was crying 2 years, and I failed again. Meanwhile, the guy who had just mocked Lindsay was complaining, I can't believe the 5th stage was that hard. It was a Tier 1 Stage 6 pet beast. The guy next to him laughed loudly and boasted, ha ha ha, I did it. I'm an intern beast tamer now. The others cursed under their breath. Damn it! Suddenly a panicked scream rang out and all eyes turned to the stone tablet. That's a raging tyrant beast. It's a Tier 2 pet beast. Why is a Tier 2 pet beast appearing in the internship test? Confused gazes turned towards Lindsay. Someone exclaimed in shock, and that guy, isn't he the one who challenged the super difficulty? The system immediately announced 4th stage cleared, final stage beginning. Lindsay stood there and sighed in relief. Finally, the last round, all around astonished eyes focused on Lindsay. Someone muttered, how is that guy so strong? All the best students from the high schools here. I know all of them, but not this guy. Meanwhile, Guanning was happy she had achieved her goal. I succeeded. I've become an intern beast tamer. Guanning worried how was brother Lindsay doing. The surrounding crowd was full of amazed gasps. Wow, so strong, Guanning wondered what was going on. After seeing the situation on the stone tablet, she couldn't help but exclaim, Lindsay already passed the 4th stage of the super difficulty. That's incredible. Over here, a few people shouted, he's out, he's out. But the surroundings erupted in astonished murmurs. What kind of monster is that? The screen displayed saber-toothed lion beast type Tier 2, Stage 5. Everyone was in an uproar. It's a saber-toothed lion. Someone exclaimed that there was no way Lindsay could pass. This is just too insane. Normally, how could a new student possibly win? Amidst the astonished gazes, Lindsay stood beside his ice crystal soul, calmly assessing, finally an opponent that knows how to fight. The battle began. The saber-toothed lion lunged forward with terrifying speed. Its sharp claws tore through the air. Lindsay shouted, Ice Prison! But as the attack shot forward, the saber-toothed lion dodged and counterattacked with a swipe of its claws. Lindsay exclaimed, so fast? The man who commanded the sneak attack watched from afar, nodding. This time, let's see what new tricks you have. I admit you have strength, young man, but this is where it really ends for you. Lamtrak clenched his fists. His ice soul was exhausted after 4 consecutive battles while the saber-toothed lion was still full of energy. He thought that even though the ice soul was 1 level higher than the saber-toothed lion, but a pet's strength is not solely determined by its level. It also depends on its attributes, condition, the environment, and the beast tamer's strategy. All of these are factors that influence the outcome. The ice soul was in a weakened state after 4 consecutive battles, while the saber-toothed lion was a pet beast. It is powerful in one-on-one situations, and its speed and strength are definitely higher than the ice soul, so this will clearly be a tough fight. If this keeps up, I might actually lose. He took a deep breath, focusing on finding an opening. An idea flashed in his mind. I must find an opportunity. He ordered the ice soul to prepare as the saber-toothed lion charged forward. Just as it was about to reach him, Lamtrak shouted, now Ice Hammer. The ice hammer shot straight at the opponent's front leg, making it lose balance. At the same time, the ice soul launched a decisive blow. No one understood what was happening. What's going on? The observers held their breath, waiting for the result. A bewildered voice spoke up, "Is it a draw? Is it a—" "How is that scored?" Suddenly, someone shouted, "No, that's not right! Everyone look!" The saber-toothed lion appeared before them, pierced by hundreds of ice shards and lying flat on the ground. The man's voice rang out, full of astonishment. "He can actually fight on par with a Tier 2 Level 5 saber-toothed lion. Then his pet beast must be at least Tier 2. Level 5. This kid is really good at hiding his strength." In the arena, Lamb-Track stood firm, his sharp gaze fixed on the saber-toothed lion. He thought to himself, this battle can't drag on any longer. At this moment, that man suddenly remembered what Lamb-Track had said before. "This is the result of my careful consideration." The saber-toothed lion let out a deafening roar, its sharp claws scraping hard against the ground. Its bright amber eyes were filled with killing intent. The pure white fur on its body trembled slightly. A cold aura characteristic of the far north emanated from it, making the surrounding air frigid. It easily withstood the Ice Soul's attack. At this moment, Lamb-Track realized, that's right. Saber-toothed lions are originally from cold regions, so they have a high resistance to extreme cold. Lamb-Track frowned. "I'm being countered." Just then, a mechanical voice echoed in Lamb-Track's mind. "System notification, new achievement unlocked. Pet has used skills a total of 10 times and received 100. Achievement points, activating pet skill unlock function." Lamb-Track raised an eyebrow, thinking, oh, what's this skill unlock function? Immediately, 3 new skills appeared on the status panel before him. Arctic Chains, a control skill that manipulates ice elements to form chains. It restrains the target's actions. Unlock requires 40% growth and 50 achievement points. Ice Shield, a defensive skill that manipulates ice elements to form a free-moving ice shield. It defends against attacks from all directions. Unlock requires 60% growth and 50 achievement points. Frost Nova, an area of effect damage skill that rapidly compresses a large amount of ice elements in a designated area into a single point and releases it in an instant to create ice attribute damage. Unlock requires 80% growth and 100 achievement points. Lamb-Track couldn't help but be amazed. So it can have this many skills to combine. Generally, a pet beast has at most 2 basic skills. The more skills it has, the more tactics it can be combined with. Lamb-Track scanned the skill list. His eyes flashed with determination. Ice Hammer is the main damage skill and relies heavily on control, although Arctic Field has a wide range and deals a lot of damage. As well as control, it's still not enough. Without hesitation, Lamb-Track decided to unlock Arctic Chains, a control-type skill consuming 50 achievement points and leaving him with 50. He considered using the remaining points to level up the Ice Soul. The system quickly announced Ice Soul Tier 2 Level 7. Growth increased to 54%. A dazzling light erupted from the arena. A series of gasps rang out. "Hey, what's with that light? Did it level up?" "No way. I didn't see him use any materials." But another person said doubtfully, "Even with battle experience, the chance to level up should only come after winning." "Isn't that right?" Someone growled in frustration. "Is he cheating, Lamb?" Track paid no mind to the surrounding chatter, focusing completely on the battle. In a low voice, he said to the saber-toothed lion, "Come on." The saber-toothed lion roared and charged straight at him. At that moment, Lamb-Track shouted, "Let's try this Arctic Chains." With the Arctic Chains skill, icy chains immediately appeared, binding the giant lion tightly. It struggled in desperation but couldn't break free. It cried out in pain. Lamb-Track continued to command the Ice Soul, now Ice Hammer. A sharp icicle flew straight towards the saber-toothed lion, piercing through its defenses. It let out a painful roar that echoed through the stands. The observers couldn't help but be stunned. What kind of skill is that? How is this possible? The green-haired man in the lead was furious and somewhat astonished. Why? How can his pet beast use 3 skills? Lamb-Track smirked, looking at the lion. Is your hide that thick? Then let's go for another round. The Ice Soul obeyed the command and immediately carried out its task. The lion couldn't withstand it and submitted. The system's final announcement rang out. Congratulations, the challenge has ended. You have successfully passed the superclass assessment. Quan Nin shouted with joy. He won, Brother Lamb. Track is amazing, but some skeptics shouted angrily he actually passed. No, this is impossible. A few stubborn ones insisted he must have bribed the judges. A more experienced person sighed thoughtfully. I never expected this from that brat. I've seen many young beast tamers with outstanding talent, but one who appears out of nowhere and astonishes everyone like this is a first for me. The system continued to update the display screen. Lamb-Track Physique 2 to 5, Soul 2.8 to 7.8. Level Apprentice. Soul Power 780. Soul Arts none. Pet Ice Soul. Achievement points 50. Ice Soul level tier 3 level 1. Growth 84%. Skills Ice Hammer, Arctic Field, Arctic Chains. Lam Trak thought to himself, no wonder it's a super difficulty special grade baptism. The power boost is incredible. The system continued to announce, you can now form a contract with a second pet beast. Lam Trak raised an eyebrow slightly, a sense of curiosity rising within him. What will the second contract be? Looks like I'll have to take a trip to the pet store. Shortly after the system updated again. Trainee Beast Tamer has passed the qualification assessment. Trainee Beast Tamer has completed the first baptism. Completion reward 200 achievement points, 1 soul stone. Just as Lam Trak sat down, another notification appeared. Rewards have been distributed. Please exit the test area. He was bewildered. Outside, the people around him rushed over. Classmate, how did you do that? Even those who had looked down on him earlier were now asking all sorts of questions. Hey, classmate, how did you get your ice-type pet? I've never seen one like it before. Some even put on a fawning tone, brother, you're so incredible. Just then, Quan Nin ran over and hugged Lam Trak from behind, grinning widely. Brother, I knew you would succeed. Yes, I knew it. This is great. All eyes were on Lam Trak after his outstanding performance that stunned everyone. A head examiner stepped forward, his gaze calm but filled with respect. Young man, your performance was astonishing. I take back what I said before. Your confidence comes from strength, not from reckless arrogance. These words immediately caused a stir in the hall. The examiner is actually apologizing to a student. Unbelievable. Lam Trak calmly gave a slight smile, his voice gentle but firm. I don't mind. The examiner immediately extended a hand, inviting him to join the association. Your name is Lam Trak, correct? Would you like to join our Beast Tamer Association? You can be selected for a reserve position with generous treatment and benefits. This won't conflict with your application to the Beast Tamer Academy after graduation. You will immediately receive the position of a deacon in the association. What do you think? The whole hall became more lively than ever. Being recruited by the Beast Tamer Association right now was a rare opportunity. Quan Nin's jaw dropped. Bro, hurry up and agree. Only outstanding graduates from the Beast Tamer Academy are qualified to participate in the assessment to join the Beast Tamer Association. The competition was as fierce as an army crossing a single-plank bridge, yet Lin Ze was still hesitant. If he agreed now, he wouldn't have to worry about expenses. His living expenses and tuition for 4 years at the Beast Taming Academy would be covered and everyone would admire him. But there's no such thing as a free lunch. The more he received now, the more he would have to pay back in the future. Besides, the association has so many rules. I don't want to lose my freedom now. He looked up at the person opposite him, bowed slightly, and said, Examiner, thank you for your kind offer, but I've thought it through. I'll consider it after I graduate. Lin Ze's answer surprised some people. Another boy quickly spoke up. Sir, if he's not going, what do you think of me? The examiner snorted softly and turned away, leaving the boy with a bewildered and disappointed look. Before leaving, the examiner's sharp gaze swept over Lin Ze, thinking to himself, what a clever kid. But with his current growth rate, he'll definitely be 100 times stronger. Then he can demand the highest level of benefits from the Beast Taming Association, instead of the meager benefits being offered right now. After a moment of contemplation, the examiner nodded and said, If that's the case, I won't force you. If you need anything or change your mind, you can come see me anytime. He then revealed his name, He Zhenwen. When the examination ended, Lin Ze left the hall but was stopped before he got far. Guan Ning, wait for us. Guan Ning introduced them. Bro, these are my classmates from the next class, Liu Xian and Zhang Xiaoyun. Liu Xian pulled Guan Ning aside and whispered, Guan Ning, we want to get your brother's contact info. Meanwhile, the bolder Zhang Xiaoyun ran straight up to Lin Ze and said shyly, Hey, can I add you as a friend? We've had our eyes on you for a while. We should all hang out together sometime. Seeing this, Liu Xian also chimed in, I'm from the class next door, and I really like you too. Lin Ze frowned, feeling a little awkward. We still have things to do, so excuse us. We can add each other later. Just then, his phone pinged with a message. Come to the office for a moment. Lin Ze quickly left and went to the teacher's office. When he entered, he saw his homeroom teacher sitting there. He greeted her. Ma'am, were you looking for me? The teacher who was sitting there suddenly stood up, hugged Lin Ze, and praised him. I heard you passed the trial on super hard difficulty. That's amazing. I knew you valued me the most. Being held in a tight hug, Lin Ze saw her beautiful and gentle side. It was a complete contrast to when she usually dragged him out for a scolding. Ha ha, she chuckled and pushed a book towards him. Oh, right. I called you here to discuss something. He asked curiously, "What is this?" She explained this book contains basic techniques and methods for cultivating soul arts. It's a mandatory course for intern beast tamers. So you should familiarize yourself with it beforehand. For a beast tamer, soul arts are the most important combat tool besides their beasts. A beast tamer who cultivates powerful soul arts can even easily kill ferocious beasts with their soul arts without relying on their pets. Not only can they coordinate with their pets in battle, but they also have a means to protect themselves from harm in fierce battles. Lindsay opened the book, his eyes shining, then looked up at his teacher gratefully. Filled with determination, he said, "Thank you, ma'am. I'll go and practice this right away." The teacher smiled, satisfied. "Go on. If you run into any trouble later, just come find me." Back home, Lindsay opened the book and began to study. The first page was about soul protection. The effect creates a shield of soul power, consuming soul power to block all damage from 360 degrees. He felt the energy circulating within his body. "If I cultivate this secret technique," he chuckled, "the early bird gets the worm. I'll learn the basics first, and after I get into the academy, I can study more advanced courses." 10 minutes passed. When Lindsay opened his eyes, a light flashed within them. "After just 10 minutes, it seems I've already grasped the basics. A normal person would take days or even months to grasp a soul art, and I learned it in just 10 minutes. It seems this 7.8 soul physique is extremely useful." Another notification sounded in his head. Successfully grasped a soul art. Reward 100 achievement points. Current achievement points 350. Do you want to consume 50 achievement points to upgrade soul protection? Lindsay smiled. As expected, the system works on soul arts too. He frowned slightly as a familiar notification panel appeared before him. Reward 100 achievement points. Current achievement points 350. Do you want to consume 50 achievement points to upgrade soul protection? Lindsay chuckled to himself. I didn't expect to earn so many achievement points just like that. I should upgrade this life-saving skill by 2 levels. After he confirmed, the system announced, consumed 100 achievement points, 250 achievement points remaining. Soul protection stage 3. A warm energy spread through Lindsay's body. He felt the protective layer around his soul change, becoming thicker and larger. It can even fit 3 to 4 people. Awesome. Looking at his status, his remaining soul power was 770. He calculated to himself, it seems, that every time I use soul protection, it only consumes 10 soul power points. My soul power limit is 780, so I can use it 78 times. His eyes lit up as he remembered something important. "Oh, right, I still haven't used the soul stone I received for becoming an apprentice beast tamer. I should use it now." Immediately, the notification panel displayed Soul 7.8 upgraded to 8.8. Soul Power 780 upgraded to 880. Lindsay took a deep breath, feeling the new power course through his body. He thought, with this much soul power, it's a waste to only use it for defense. I should learn 2 more skills. He decided to learn 2 new skills. Soul Arrow, which concentrates soul power at the fingertip and fires it, and Soul Shockwave, which gathers energy in the fist and releases it. Lindsay tested the new skill. A soul bullet shot from his finger with the high precision of an arrow. The notification panel displayed again. Consumed 10 soul power points. The power isn't great, but the accuracy is just like an arrow. He then tested Soul Shockwave. Next, I'll try this. A powerful shockwave erupted, creating a crater in the ground. Lindsay's eyes widened in surprise as the notification panel showed consumed 30 soul power points. "It's this powerful." Another notification appeared. "You have successfully learned 3 soul arts. Reward 1 vial of soul replenishing potion. It can quickly restore all soul power." Lindsay clutched the vial, deciding to save it for an emergency. It's a very practical effect, but I have to save it for a critical time before I use it. He looked at his newly acquired skills. "I'll upgrade both Soul Arrow and Soul Shockwave to level 2, he confirmed on the panel. Consumed 100 achievement points. 150 achievement points remaining. Soul Arrow and Soul Shockwave upgraded to level 2. He looked at his remaining points and decided it was best to save them for later. "The next important thing is to earn money. I'll just save the remaining points. I'll use them when I need them. Tomorrow I need to earn some money. With some money, I need to buy my second pet beast." The next morning at the mission center, Lindsay thought to himself, "This is my first time taking a mission for money. With my current abilities, some normal-level missions shouldn't be a problem." Lindsay carefully selected from the list Drive Away the Ghost Dragonflies near Yangshan Village. Reward 20,000. Kill the ripping eagle on Highway 302. Reward 30,000. Clear the ghost fish from Looming Lake. Reward 10,000. Exterminate the armored bugs in Sangjong Valley. Reward 40,000. Lindsay smirked. Of course I'm picking the one with the highest reward. But as soon as he confirmed, a notification appeared. Due to your status as an intern beast tamer, you have been matched with a team of 3 for your safety. The reward will be split evenly. Lindsay's eye twitched. He said angrily, "Damn it, what a scam, I can handle this on my own." The screen then displayed, "Please arrive at Sangjong Valley before 2 p.m. At Sangjong Valley, Lindsay finally arrived. In front of him were his 3 newly assigned teammates. "You're finally here," Lindsay replied. "Hello." A man looked him up and down and sneered. "Kid, we've been waiting for you for half the day. You haven't even graduated yet." The one who spoke was the low-rank beast Tamer Zhang Lei. Another tougher-looking man crossed his arms and mocked, "Why'd they pair us with a rookie who hasn't even graduated?" This was the low-rank beast Tamer Zhao Shan. The only girl in the group smiled at Lindsay and said, "You guys are so mean, you're scaring him." "She is the low-rank beast Tamer Wang Shuiyun." She moved closer and winked at him, "Handsome boy, just follow me later." Lindsay forced a smile. "That's right, I haven't graduated yet, so I'll be counting on you all." Hearing this, Wang Shuiyun giggled happily. So obedient, Zhao Shan glanced at her and pouted in disgust. "Hey, are you fawning over another pretty boy? Get serious. This mission might be harder than you think. Just try not to get yourself killed." Wang Shuiyun puffed her cheeks and huffed what Zhao Shan spoke up with a serious expression. "I'll be the temporary captain of this team. When we get to the mission point, you must follow my instructions and your reward will be smaller. You understand?" Lindsay sneered, feeling contemptuous inside. These people, they are all unqualified for the Beast Tamer Academy, relying only on a few beast-taming tricks from high school to survive. But on the surface, he just calmly and obediently replied, "Let's distribute it based on the work done. The more you do, the more you get." Zhang Lei snorted coldly. "At least you know your place. Let's go." The group quickly entered the mission area under the crimson sunset. A swarm of giant armored insects was lurking among the mossy rocks when suddenly a bug lunged out from the darkness. Wang Shuiyun screamed. Zhao Shan said, "We just need to fill this hole and kill these armored bugs and we're done." With that, he summoned his pet beast. "Come on out." The display showed Zhao Shan's pet beast was a Tier 2 Level 5 beast-type rhinoceros, not to be outdone. Zhang Lei next to him also summoned his pet. "Watch me." A Tier 2 Level 6 insect-type steel wind mantis. Wang Shuiyun turned and winked at Lin's little brother. "Just stay behind me, okay?" Then she also summoned her pet, a Tier 2 Level 5 insect-type terror wasp. In the dark underground, a tense atmosphere enveloped them as they faced the massive swarm of armored bugs. Linza's eyes remained cold and unwavering. He thought to himself, "I'll see what you guys are capable of first before I act." Zhao Shan, pumped up, shouted. He ordered everyone, "Charge and kill them all for me." He waved his hand, commanding his pet, a powerful rhinoceros with savage horn, charge. The rhinoceros charged forward, its sharp horn piercing an armored bug and sending it flying. But at that very moment, more bugs swarmed out from the cave surrounding them tightly. Seeing this, Zhang Lei snorted coldly. You brute," he waved his hand, commanding his pet, a sharp mantis. "Watch this. Scythe blade void." Slash, the blades on the mantis's arms flashed with light, slashing towards the armored bugs, but the tough-shelled insects only retreated a little. Then they immediately charged forward, not to be outdone. Wang Shuiyun commanded her swarm of terror wasps. "You won't succeed." "So that's your plan, huh? Bring it on." Frenzied poison needles, poisonous stingers shot out, embedding themselves in the armored bugs' outer shells. Some of the poisoned ones convulsed violently at this moment. Zhang Lei turned to Lin Zi and said, "So, newbie, the 3 of us work together pretty well, don't we? You just need to stand on the sidelines and cheer for us." Wang Shuiyun smiled smugly and turned to Lin Zi. "Still want a reward? Just consider it a tuition fee, little brother. I'll share a few of my points with you later. Just stay behind me and protect yourself. That's all you need to do." Lin Zi remained silent, his eyes focused. Suddenly, all the armored bugs stood up. He thought to himself, "This is not good, a series of flashy attacks." But they posed no real threat to the swarm. A deafening roar echoed from deep within the cave. Wang Shuiyun jumped and turned around. What was that sound? From the darkness, giant shadows gradually emerged. The armored bugs seemed to be calling for reinforcements. Zhang Lei's face paled. New ones are coming from the cave, but then he realized that wasn't it. They're calling for help. Lin Zi finally spoke up. Could it be that there's a larger corpse bug king inside? Suddenly, all three of their pet beasts collapsed, seemingly drained of all strength. Zhang Lei shouted, "Quick, recall your pets, or these armored bugs will kill them." Zhao Mingshan hurriedly called out, "Rhino, come back." But the rhinoceros remained motionless, its eyes glazed over. Lindsay frowned and said in a low voice, "It's useless. The sound those corpus bugs just made has a paralyzing effect on your pets. They won't obey your commands anymore." Wang Shuiyun panicked. "What? What do we do now, my wasps?" Zhang Lei gritted his teeth, glaring at Lindsay. "You son of a bitch, you knew and didn't say anything. You're just a useless piece of trash who only knows how to be sarcastic." Lindsay remained calm and replied coldly, "Right now you shouldn't be worrying about your pet, but about your own life." Run Zhang Lei clenched his fists, but at that moment the entire swarm rushed towards them as if to take the lives of those who had harmed them. Zhao Mingshan screamed, "Run! Hurry up and run, or we're all dead!" He ran while gritting his teeth. This damn mission is not normal at all. But just as the group was despairing, a faint blue light emanated a soul guard. A circle of light enveloped them, blocking the armored bug's attack. Zhang Lei's eyes widened in shock. This is a soul art only students from the Beast Tamer Academy know this. How could a high school kid like you know it? "Cut the chatter," Lindsay smirked, his eyes sharp. "Just get behind me." He raised his hand and summoned his pet. A chilling aura spread throughout the cave. An ice crystal soul, a frozen creature with shimmering wings, appeared. The cold air radiating from its body caused the surrounding temperature to drop. Suddenly, Zhang Lei's jaw dropped. What kind of pet is this?" Wang Shuiyun stammered. "I've never seen one before." Zhao Mingshan clenched his fists and growled, I don't know either." Lindsay stared at the armored bugs, calculating these armored bugs match the tier of the pet beasts. At worst, it's only the 7th stage, but their advantage is their numbers. They don't have any large area of effect skills, so they can't fight them effectively. He chuckled coldly, suddenly remembering a newly learned skill. "But my Tier 3 Ice Crystal Soul happens to have an area of effect ability." He raised his hand and commanded the Ice Crystal Soul Arctic Domain. A fierce blizzard swept through. It froze the entire swarm of armored bugs in an instant. Lindsay turned back and said to the other three in a cold voice, "Take this chance to retrieve your pets. There's still time." He added a threat, "If you are willing to give up the entire reward." Zhao Mingshan quickly compromised. Witnessing the destructive scene before him, all right, the entire reward is yours, as long as we can get our pets out of here safely." However, someone was still unconvinced. Zhang Lei growled and shouted, "This damn brat dares to threaten us. Do you think you're that contestant, Lindsay, who passed the super-level trial?" "Yes," Lindsay replied coldly. "That's right, I am Lindsay." Hearing that, Vuong Tuyet Van muttered, "It's just as I thought. I was wondering how a high school student could possess this kind of power." Then she cried out, "Little brother Lindsay, please save our pets." Zhang Lei still refused to believe it. He arrogantly yelled, "Just because you say so, it's true. Like hell, I believe you. Hurry up and unfreeze them so we can retrieve our pets." At that moment, Zhao Mingshan stepped forward and punched Zhang Lei squarely in the face. "You idiot, his display of power just now was all the proof we need." Seeing Zhang Lei collapse, he then said a few flattering words to Lin Ze. "We were blind to not recognize your greatness." At this very moment, the ice all around was beginning to show signs of melting. Lindsay quickly noticed it. He turned and said to the others, "There's not much time, it's about to thaw, so you should quickly retrieve them and leave." Before the swarm of insects wakes up, hearing this, Wang Shuiyun asked, "What about you?" "These insects won't die just like that. They are only temporarily immobilized." Lindsay remained calm, facing the insects. He and the Ice Crystal Soul looked at them with cold eyes as he said, Hey, to catch the bandits, you must first catch the king." Zhang Lei was horrified. This rotten kid. Is he planning to go deeper inside? The group hurriedly retrieved their pets and retreated. However, Lindsay went deeper into the cave, where a terrifying growl echoed from the darkness. Before going down, he instructed the others, "You all should hurry up and go." Entering the cave, Lindsay thought, "It's dark in here, but I can see clearly. It seems the physical enhancement also affects my eyesight." Just then, a swarm of insects rushed out from deep within the cave to attack the intruder him. He activated soul protection and had the ice soul gather ice elements in the Arctic domain. Soul protection ice prison soul force shockwave, although it could block almost the entire swarm of insects. But he realized this method wouldn't be able to hold them off. For long, there were too many. If this keeps up, even with my vast soul power, I won't be able to hold on. Then a new idea sparked in Lindsay's mind. That's right, I still have achievement points. Ice Shield is a defensive skill that controls ice elements to form a shield that can freely defend against attacks from all directions. Costs 50 achievement points. Ice Thorn Nova. An area of effect damage skill rapidly compresses a large amount of ice elements in a designated area into a single point and immediately detonates it, causing damage. Ice System consumes 100 achievement points. At that moment, the system panel announced remaining achievement points 150. He clicked his tongue just enough to learn them. At this moment, Lindsay was mentally planning step-by-step thinking of a way to overcome this challenge. The Ice Soul has learned Ice Shield and Ice Thorn Nova. With the Ice Soul Shield, I can move freely without needing to stay inside soul protection. And as for Ice Thorn Nova, it's exactly what I need to deal area of effect damage, but first I need to gather the surrounding ice elements, which can be perfectly combined with the Arctic domain. Lindsay commanded Ice Soul use Arctic domain. The air temperature plummeted instantly. Breath froze and a chilling frost spread throughout the area. Soul protection. Good, the ice elements are gathered. Now use Ice Thorn Nova. Ice Thorn Nova. In an instant, a wave of freezing ice swept through, freezing the entire swarm of armored insects. The system panel announced you have killed 50 corpse-armored insects. Seeing this, Lindsay happily thought to himself, the shield has been shattered, hasn't it? This move is too powerful. To put it simply, this is a true explosion. Ice Soul Tier 3 Stage 1 has leveled up to Tier 3 Stage 2. Growth rate increased from 84% to 89%. Next stage, Snow Maiden. Currently, the Ice Soul has the following skills: Ice Hammer, Arctic Chains, Arctic Domain, and Ice Thorn Nova, but he started to think about his next plan. Pets can also gain experience and level up through combat. Although it's a bit slow, the number of insects here is so large that it's a great place for leveling up. The system panel continued to display growth 89%. Lindsay looked around and thought, maybe today I can help the Ice Soul break through to the next stage. A roar came from deep inside, sounding very angry. Lindsay stood beside the Ice Soul, certain in his gut it seems their king is inside. All right, let's charge in. Meanwhile, Zhao Mingshan and Zhang Lei looked at each other. Wang Shuiyun, sweating profusely, stammered, We have to report the danger of this mission to our superiors immediately. Otherwise, Lindsay will be in danger. Hearing that, Zhang Lei angrily shouted at her, Why do you even care about that brat? He went looking for death on his own. Just then, a voice came from behind. Excuse me, is the mission location up ahead? The person who appeared was Beast Tamer Luoda. Zhao Mingshan looked ahead and warned in a serious tone, That's right, the target point is still ahead, but I advise you to be careful. Don't go. However, after seeing the medal on his chest, the three of them shouted in shock, A Bronze Beast Tamer medal. You're a Bronze Beast Tamer. Luoda stepped forward arrogantly, holding high the emblem issued by the Beast Tamer Association. The Beast Tamer emblems issued by the association are currently divided into ranks. Bronze Beast Tamer, top 30% worldwide. Silver Beast Tamer, top 12% worldwide. Gold Beast Tamer, top 3% worldwide. Luoda said coldly, That's right. I am Bronze Beast Tamer Luoda. The association noticed the change in the mission's difficulty and sent me here to clean up this mess. Yes, Wang Shuiyun cheered joyfully, That's great. With you here, we'll definitely succeed. Can you take us with you? Luoda gave a faint smile. His restless hand reached up to stroke her cheek as he teased, Little sister, if you want to see my performance. Then I can take you with me. After that, he turned to the other two with a contemptuous look. As for you two, you're not qualified. Zhang Lei quickly waved his hands. No, we don't want to go. Inside the cave, after a chaotic battle, the system announced, Congratulations, you have earned the 100 Beast Slayer achievement. You received 300 achievement points and a Berserk Species card. Berserk Species card instantly upgrades the current pet by 1 tier for a short period. Duration, 60 seconds. Lindsay narrowed his eyes, 100 Beast Slayer. So there's this kind of achievement, huh? It's probably not much different from the 100 Man Slayer achievement, but the reward this time is really substantial. Claim. The system continued to announce Ice Soul has advanced to Tier 3 Stage 3, growth rate 94%. Lindsay chuckled. Hey, it seems there's only one stage left. Then the Snow Maiden will be one step closer. I should get out of here. He turned to leave the area when suddenly an earth-shattering roar echoed. A giant monster appeared. Damn, this thing is huge. According to the mission details, the corpse-armored insect threat appeared a week ago, which means this guy evolved not too long ago. The armored insect drew closer and closer. It roared loudly as it walked. System warning danger, corpse species, star-armored insect, Tier 4, Stage 1. Lindsay was terrified, but he also understood the reality before him. And my empty wallet? No, I can't. If I run now, I won't get a single penny. I'll have to risk it. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed, sending rocks flying everywhere. Luo Da and Wang Shuiyun had arrived. Wang Shuiyun cried out in alarm, "Lindsay, that's great, you're really okay." Lindsay calmly replied, "Yeah, I'm fine. Why did you come here?" Beside her, the newly arrived Luo Da had a murderous look in his eyes. When he saw Lindsay, he shouted, "Huh? Why is there another person here? Get back, kid. This place is too dangerous. It's not somewhere you should be." He looked at the armored insect ahead, gritted his teeth, and explained this thing. "It's the legendary corpse-armored insect king. This is a Tier 4 ferocious beast. Only one in tens of thousands of corpse-armored insects has the ability to control the swarm. I knew this guy was the one behind it all." Luo Da shouted, ready to advance. "Watch me." Lindsay stepped forward, his voice firm. "Hey, I'm the one who accepted this mission. Please step back. This boss belongs to me." Luo Da became furious. "Kid, do you know who I am?" The corpse-armored insect roared, its overwhelming aura filling the space. "Wow." Luo Da calmly stated his identity, Bronze Beast Tamer Luo Da. "Who are you to dare speak to me like that?" Luo Da summoned his soul beast, a Tier 3 Stage 9 lava rock giant. Not to be outdone, Lindsay ordered his ice soul to use its ultimate move, ice chains. Immediately after Luo Da's soul beast was bound tightly, unable to move, Lindsay gave a faint, cold smile and calmly introduced himself. "I am intern beast Tamer Lindsay." Luo Da was stunned, but his attitude didn't change a bit. "So you're that Lindsay, the one who passed the super difficulty trial. I'm not surprised you have this kind of skill. But let me tell you, after passing the intern trial and fighting hundreds of battles, I have already passed the bronze-level trial." "Uh-huh," Lindsay said indifferently. "I'll get there too." Luo Da was angry. "What do you mean by that kid?" Wang Shuiyun shouted. "You two stop arguing. There's danger behind you." It turned out the gold-armored insect had pushed back the rock man and escaped the chain's bindings. Luo Da said coldly, "How annoying. You brat, I'll show you the gap between us." Immediately after, he ordered Rock Giant Soul Art. The soul beast's entire body seemed to ignite with fiery power, shattering the chains. It advanced towards the armored insect. The system panel announced the lava rock giant's current strength has increased to Tier 4 Stage 2. Lindsay was a bit surprised to witness this. He thought to himself, so there's this kind of soul art, huh? Luo Da roared, "Rock Fist Earthshake." From the ground, giant stone pillars rose up, aiming straight for the armored insect. "What terrifying power!" Luo Da turned to Lindsay and said, "But comprehending a high-tier enhancement-type soul art is not something everyone can do. This is the gap between us." Suddenly, a strange sound was heard. The armored insect seemed to be showing signs of waking up. At this moment, he immediately ordered his rock giant beast to use its ultimate move. Horn Impact Pierce, after being battered by the previous attacks. This giant Tang Trung armored beetle immediately flew into a rage, its teeth starting to rattle menacingly as an information panel appeared. The Tang Trung armored beetle entered a berserk state, its combat power now at Tier 4 Stage 3, and its danger level soared. In its frenzy, the beetle lunged and latched onto the stone giant. The whole space trembled as its terrifying power sent out shockwaves. Ladat couldn't help but exclaim, "This guy is really tough to handle." Having prepared beforehand, Zhao Shuichu unleashed its Ice Finger skill while Lin Zi coordinated with a Soul Power shockwave. Both charged forward to attack the giant monster head-on. A violent, earth-shattering sound echoed throughout the area, but when the smoke and dust cleared, the attack only left a small, insignificant dent, as if merely scratching an itch for the ferocious boss. Nevertheless, the provocation angered it. It immediately flung the stone giant aside and changed its target to Zhao Shuichu and Lin Zi nearby. Observing the situation from afar, Lin Zi thought to himself, "It's time." Zhao Shuichu began to condense new energy in its hands. Lin Zi shouted Arctic Chain. An icy chain immediately shot out, wrapping tightly around the beetle's horn. But in just a few seconds, it created a powerful aftershock, shattering the chain. Seeing the situation was dire, Lindsay quickly roared Ice Shield. A giant block of ice instantly appeared, but it also shattered quickly under the monster's power. Fortunately, the stone giant rushed in from behind to restrain the beetle again. Ladat said, "Now we are in the right position." However, the stone giant seemed unable to hold the Tang Trung. Its hands trembled violently before it was thrown away again, its body crashing into the cliff wall. Thick dust billowed from the hole as it fell, seemingly completely exhausted. Watching from the side, who would have thought their team would be so utterly defeated? Wang Shuiyun clutched her head and screamed, "Let's retreat! This beetle is terrifyingly strong. We have to get out of here now or we'll all die here." Looking at the scene, Ladat gritted his teeth in anger. What a tough monster. I'll let you go for today, but I'll be back to figure you out later. Surprisingly, Lin Zi and Zhao Xuechu stepped forward. He said resolutely, "You two go on ahead. I'll stay and take it down." Both of them were stunned, then Ladat started shouting. "Kid, have you lost your mind? Can't you see that even my enhanced stone giant couldn't do a thing to it?" But Lin Zi immediately retorted, "You just said the difference between us is that you've learned a power-enhancing soul technique, right?" Ladat roared back. "Yes, so what? What are you planning to do?" Without answering, Lin Zi simply raised his hand and activated the system. Berserk Seed Card confirm. A yellow stream of power immediately erupted. It formed a pillar of light enveloping them both, and he softly uttered, "Enhance." At this unexpected sight, Ladat shouted in astonishment. You can also use a soul technique to enhance power." This was no joke. Immediately, shards of ice bones radiated from Zhao Shichu's center, and its blazing red eyes grew even sharper. Its energy, boosted by the Berserk Seed Card, surged to its limit. Seeing Lin Zi's pet beast get enhanced, even though he was just a student, Ladat was dumbfounded. "What is this? Are you kidding me? Who is this kid?" Wang Shuiyun beside him couldn't hide her shock either. "It's unbelievable." The system announced an update to Tier 3. Time remaining 60 seconds. With a cold expression, Lin Zi thought to himself, "Only 1 minute. With my current soul skills, that's more than enough. Bring it on!" Both sides prepared for a new fight. The Arctic chain appeared again. This time the ice chain wrapped tightly around the beetle's horn, and with Zhao Xuechu's increased power, it couldn't easily escape. Watching the beetle struggle, Lin Zi thought, when my ice crystal soul levels up, my soul skills become much stronger, but I probably can't maintain this for long. Then I must strike first. A soul power shockwave was instantly unleashed, aimed straight at the beetle's head. It wasn't just one, but a series of consecutive blows, as if to beat it beyond recognition. A thought flashed through his mind. I'll knock you out cold. System update, 40 seconds of enhancement time remaining. Under the relentless assault, the Tang Trung broke free from the chain. Its rage flared violently. Seeing it break free, Ladat quickly raised a hand and shouted, "Stop! If you keep this up, you'll die from exhaustion." But Lin Zi didn't even glance back as he replied, "It's fine. I've only used half my soul energy, don't worry." The display before him showed soul power points 400. Hearing that, Ladat almost fell over, exclaiming, "What? How is that possible?" They came to see Ladat in action, but who knew Lin Zi would be the one to shine? Wang Shuiyun was just as amazed. A true genius. Maybe we can actually defeat this Tang Trung armored beetle. Back in the fight, an icy mist had spread behind the beetle. Zhao Xuechu raised a finger and a rainbow energy flashed as the Nova Icebone skill was cast. A wave of power struck the beetle's face. A small explosion sent it reeling backward. The shockwave even reached Ladat and Wang Shuiyun. The beetle was hit so hard its saliva went flying. Ladat exclaimed, "Incredible. No wonder I've never seen a pet beast like it before." "It could be." He was cut off. Wang Shuiyun asked curiously, "What do you mean?" Ladat slowly explained, long ago, mythical creatures fought in fierce wars. Humans used the 5 main elements to end that chaotic era, and since then the 5 elemental beasts have vanished. Perhaps. Meanwhile, Lin Zi continued his assault. The system announced 30 seconds of enhancement remaining. He said, "It's time to finish this." Ice Finger. Zhao Xuechu clasped its hands. Countless sharp spikes formed its deep purple eyes, preparing the final blow. Pushed to the breaking point by the fierce attacks, the Tang Trung armored beetle struggled frantically. It shattered the ice covering its body and dashed in one direction to escape. Noticing its unusual speed, Lin Zi immediately reacted, unleashing his soul. Power Shockwave coordinating with Zhao Xuechu's Ice Finger skill while shouting, "You think you can escape?" The two attacks merged, striking down brightly on a single point on the Tang Trung's back. The dust cleared to reveal a deep dent. The area fell silent. The monster's eyes widened in shock, and then Lin Zi's system announced, "System reminder, you have killed the first boss, the Tang Trung armored beetle." Watching from afar, Wang Shuiyun couldn't contain her excitement. She raised both fists and cheered, "We won! Lin Zi, you're my idol." Watching his impressive performance, Ladat turned pale and stammered in amazement. You really outshone everyone here. Up ahead after that series of fierce attacks, Zhao Xuechu began to sway. The system immediately issued a warning system reminder the Berserk Seed card's effect has ended. As Zhao Xuechu was about to collapse, Lin Ze quickly caught it, gently encouraging, "You did great." New information appeared. Ice Crystal Soul upgraded to Tier 3 Stage 5. Growth rate 100%. Evolution materials required high-grade ice crystal times 10. Gazing at Zhao Xuechu sleeping peacefully in his arms, Lin Ze thought, I didn't expect it to reach 100% so fast. Now I just need to gather enough materials for it to evolve. He smiled gently and said, "We'll wait for you to recover, then we'll figure out the next step." A new system panel appeared. Achievement unlocked. First boss kill. Receive 500 accumulation points. Recovery potion. Times 1 high-grade ice crystal evolution material times 10. Seeing the system automatically grant the items, Lin Ze's eyes lit up as he thought, it even gave me the evolution materials. This system is so generous. Suddenly a hand rested on his shoulder, followed by a deep voice. "Hey, little brother, I'd like to discuss something with you." Ladat's dazed expression left Lin Ze and Wang Shuiyun with huge question marks. Without making them wait, Ladat pointed at the corpse of the defeated Tang Trung and continued. "Could you give me the credit for killing this Tang Trung armored beetle?" Hearing that, Wang Shuiyun was shocked and loudly protested. "Hey, how can you say that?" It was clearly Lin Ze. Before she could finish, Ladat raised a finger and interrupted, offering, "I'll pay you 100,000. Considering the situation, Lin Ze thought the Beast Tamer Association gave him this mission. If he doesn't complete it, it will surely affect his evaluation and future chances for promotion. That's why he's so concerned with the result. For me, this is a good deal. 100,000 is enough to buy a new pet beast." Seeing him deep in thought, Ladat asked worriedly, "What is it?" But Lin Ze was still thinking, I shouldn't accept so quickly. Maybe there's a better offer. To be more persuasive, Ladat spread his hands and added, "Brother, 100,000 is what I've saved up for half a year. This mission is only worth 50,000, so you're profiting by 50,000. Then he put a fist to his chest and stressed, "And I, Ladat, will owe you a favor." Hearing this, Lin Ze nodded. "Okay, it's a deal." He smiled, thinking to himself, a favor is priceless. The two took out their phones to complete the transaction. After getting the money, Lin Ze confirmed received 100,000. But just at that moment, a strange sound caught his attention. A man with a giant eagle appeared from above, landing in front of them. The three approached, and Ladat recognized the person. Waving, he greeted Senior Ha. The newcomer was Ha Zhenwen, the examiner who had tested Lam Trak before. Yes, Wang Shuiyun was secretly astonished. "Oh, that's a silver emblem. I can't believe I'm meeting a silver-rank beast tamer here." Ignoring Ladat's greeting, Ha Zhenwen looked at Lam Trak and smiled. "We meet again." Ladat looked at him in surprise, while Lam Trak waved back. "Hello, Senior." Ladat was even more shocked, thinking this kid even knows Senior Ha. Ha Zhenwen continued, "I remember your Lam Trak, right? It seems the mission here was a success, wasn't it?" Ladat quickly interjected, "Yes, I handled it successfully." No one was injured, but Ha Zhenwen's gaze remained on Lam Trak, silently assessing. This armored mulberry worm is at the 3rd tier, if I'm not mistaken. His pet beast is only at the 2nd tier. Even for a rare genius, the coordination between you and the ice crystal sphere must have been what took down this level 4 monster. He raised a hand to his chest and said, "This is probably the 2nd time I've greeted you. Due to the Beast Tamer Association's negligence, the mission was misjudged and downgraded to a common level, damaging the guild's credibility. On behalf of the association, I apologize to you." "Lam," Trax smiled lightly. "It's all right, brother. Ladat saved us." Ladat beamed. It's nothing, Wang Shuiyun observed, thinking, is this what you call peak emotional intelligence? After the apology, Ha Zhenwen raised his hand and continued to compensate for this mistake. "The association will compensate you with 100,000, and we need to take this monster back for research." Hearing this, Ladat's mind reeled. Oh my god, this kid hit the jackpot this time. Lam Trak scratched his head. "Yes, what could be better? I agree." He thought to himself, this isn't just compensation. It's probably hush money. A gesture from the guild. If I don't accept it, there might be other risks. The transaction was complete. Ha Zhenwen silently assessed. This boy doesn't have a second pet beast yet. He must need the money. This is a great help to him. He said the money has been transferred to your account. I hope you use it well. Lam Trak's phone buzzed. Received 100,000. Ha Zhenwen added, from now on, if you need help, just come find me at the association after speaking. He effortlessly hoisted the mulberry worm onto his shoulder. He left, leaving Lam Trak stunned. The sunset painted the scene in orange gold as the three of them left the place. Ladot spoke up, "You made 200,000 today. Plus a favor," Lamtrak added. Ladot had no choice but to nod because of his previous promise. Laughing, "Don't worry, I, Ladot, won't forget. See you later then." He leaped away. Wang Shuiyun looked at him. "I never expected to meet two people from the guild today. This trip was really worth it." She waved. "I have to try harder. When I'm as strong as you, we'll do missions together." Lamtrak chose a different direction, waved and smiled goodbye, then, "We'll meet again." After quickly and brilliantly completing his first mission, Lamtrak returned to Binhai City holding his phone. He was lost in thought, a little hesitant. With this 200,000, it's probably enough to get myself a B-rank pet, right? His first destination upon returning to the city was the Super God Pet Store, famous for its unique selections. As soon as he entered, a cheerful female employee approached, waving with a radiant smile, "Welcome, esteemed customer. How may I assist you today without beating around the bush?" Lamtrak got straight to the point. "I want to buy a pet." Hearing this, the girl tilted her head slightly and pointed in a direction. "This way, please." So Lamtrak was led up a staircase into the inner shop where a variety of lively and captivating pets were displayed. The girl continued her introduction with an excited voice. "We have everything here. Please feel free to look around and choose." In that vast space, he easily spotted pigs, monkeys, and snails in abundance. Lamtrak silently assessed it seems that in a normal store like this, B rank is probably the highest level they have. His system immediately displayed information on a few options: bone snake animal type, no hidden evolution path; fungi series plant type, no hidden evolution path. Then his eyes landed on another one, 5-flame imp, hidden evolution path, fire demon messenger. A thought flashed through his mind. "I see." However, he still considered it further. Although this one had a hidden evolution path, it didn't reach the royal beast level like the Snow Queen and Little Snowball's path. Seeing him silently hesitating, the girl quickly stepped forward with a bright smile and a sales pitch. Handsome, this little fire demon is an elite pet at the 8th tier. It's very rare. The current price is up to 160,000. Lamtrak was slightly startled and looked over, really fearing he didn't understand. She enthusiastically explained further, 160,000 includes the evolution materials as well. But Lamtrak remained calm and hadn't made a decision, replying lightly, "Let me look a little more in his mind." His thoughts continued, "By the way, wasn't my little snowball only F rank before? And it didn't have an evolution path, did it? But this ranking is based on the experience of the Beast Tamer Association's experts, and conclusions drawn from experience aren't always absolutely correct." Thinking this, he turned and walked in another direction. Then the system suddenly provided new information. Lamtrak discovered a pet that could evolve along a hidden king-level path. A sense of surprise washed over him as he wondered, why does this little guy look so familiar? A small rock caught his attention. Information appeared: obedient rock, monster rock type, evolution path, giant rock monster, enhances strength and defense. Becomes larger, has resistance to some elements, higher attributes, hidden evolution path. Divine root traces back to its ancient bloodline. Evolution method, excavate the depths of its bloodline for a spark of divinity, including enhanced melee combat and earth element control. Next divine root evolution form, rock fiend. Conditions to be met: 100% growth, 20. Intermediate earth element. Essences, 500 grams of spirit-nurturing soil. Looking at this beast, Lamtrak maintained a cool expression, but the corner of his mouth twitched up slightly. He thought, that's right, no wonder it looks familiar, isn't it? Just like Ladot's pet. A giant rock monster evolves from this tiny creature. But that's just the common path. He probably never imagined it had the potential to become divine through another route. He analyzed further. The ice crystal soul is strong in burst damage and control. It's a mage type, then the obedient rock monster must be a warrior type. Seeing him observing intently, the girl picked up the small rock beast, smiled brightly, and added a sales pitch. "Handsome, don't hesitate anymore. This little monster is a favorite choice for many. It fights well, and its evolution materials are simple and convenient. The price is only 80,000. After a moment's thought, Lamtrak decided, "I'll take it. And a few other things. I need the evolution materials, 20 intermediate earth element essences, and 500 grams of spirit-nurturing soil." The girl holding the little rock looked at him in surprise and asked for confirmation. "Sir, are you planning to evolve this rock monster? These materials can't be used to evolve it. Besides, intermediate earth element essence is quite expensive. It's a bit of a waste, since this one is only D rank." Unaware that he possessed a superior system, Lamtrak could only reply, "No. I'm buying them as a gift for a friend." So the card was presented. After one payment, only 20,000 remained. He was secretly amazed. The materials are more expensive than the pet itself, After the payment, the girl handed him an item. "This is a gift for you, a sealing stone." The little golden rock curled into a ball, an aura spreading around it. Lamb-Track looked up at the light, the system updated. Second pet contract completed plus 300 accumulated points. The scene shifted from day to night. Lamb-Track returned to his room and sat cross-legged with 2 items neatly arranged in front of him. He called softly, "Come here." A small rock immediately came out. System check, obedient rock. Monster, Tier 1, Stage 1, growth rate 12%, soul points 800. He mused. First, I need to raise its growth rate to 100%. Soul power from his hand flowed into the little rock. It trembled. Feeling the energy information updated, consumed 220 accumulated points to upgrade the obedient rock monster. Advanced to Tier 2, Stage 2, growth rate 100%. When it was done, Lamb-Track rested his hands on his thighs, deep in thought. This little fella looks so dumb, but because of that, who would ever suspect you have the potential to reach God level? A hidden evolution path, indeed. The little rock, after trembling, now looked bewildered with a question mark over its head, but its eyes lit up when it saw a lump of something near it. Lamb-Track encouraged it, "Come on, eat all these evolution materials. You'll reach a new level." Without hesitation, the little rock gobbled up the red lump. Nom nom nom. Seeing it eat a portion, Lamb-Track pointed to the plate beside it. "There's still some spirit-nurturing soil here. You haven't eaten it." But it didn't care. After finishing the red lump, it rolled over and went to sleep, annoyed. Lamb-Track stood up, raised his hand, and yelled, "You little brat. Do you know how much money I spent to buy this stuff? Why are you such a picky eater?" The little rock jumped around like a crab throwing a tantrum. A vexed symbol appeared over its head at his wit's end. Lamb-Track raised his hand, about to get angry. A blue spatial portal appeared next to the little rock. It looked on, bewildered, with another question mark. Lamb-Track continued, "All right, if you won't eat it, I'll let your big sister handle you." The red eyes of little Snowball flashed, making the little rock flinch. But it still maintained its vexed symbol, Lamb-Track thought to himself. It seems its recovery is a bit too good. Refusing to give up, the little rock charged forward. A clash was heard. "You want to beat me? Dream on." The little rock got a lump on its head from little Snowball's ice club. It hurt so much it wailed, watching Lindsay helplessly, truly stubborn. After being hit hard on the head, the obedient rock monster could only cry miserably. "Try to finish the 500 grams of spirit-nurturing soil on the plate. You wouldn't eat, so you forced me to take action." But perhaps from eating too much, the obedient rock monster began to show clear signs of nausea. It needed medicine urgently, but just then an important notification suddenly appeared. Its growth rate shot up to 100%. The obedient rock monster's round, bloodshot eyes flashed immediately after. A powerful red aura spread all around, sensing things were changing. Lindsay quickly looked down at the obedient rock monster. "It's starting to transform with a jet-black light, huh?" That was his thought. From the center of its body, a black light began to envelop the obedient rock monster. Signs of evolution became clear as its silhouette grew gigantic. It had firm six-pack abs and bulging biceps, but its face was hideous. The obedient rock monster had evolved into Big Rock. The information panel appeared immediately afterward. Rock Demon Earth and Dark Dual Type current level. Tier 2, Stage 9, growth rate 0%, skills, Earth Spike, Rock Bullet Headshot, Sticky Mud Bomb. Next evolution path, maturity at 100%. High-grade Earth Elemental Essence, witnessing the perfect transformation. Lindsay crossed his arms and smiled smugly. "Oh, this is unexpected. Who would have thought a rock monster could evolve into this form?" Right, but then something strange suddenly flashed in Big Rock's eyes. There was still a hint of abnormality. Sensing something was about to happen, Lindsay shouted, "Hey, what are you trying to do, Earth Spike?" "Oh no, the monster is wrecking the house." Sharp Earth Spike suddenly erupted from the ground, aiming straight for little Snowball. Fortunately, she quickly jumped away to dodge the attack. Rock Bullet Headshot. Big Rock's body shot forward, creating a massive explosion. But from the other side, ice mist began to spread, and a sparkling block of ice appeared. Big Rock was bewildered, with an exclamation and question mark over its head. Little Snowball had created a protective ice shield just in time to block the explosion. However, the wall behind was deeply cracked and dented. Seeing this, Lindsay's expression changed from impassive to worried. "Oh my God, a friendly fight between these kids would be fine. But attacking on your own without orders is crossing the line. I'm going to teach you a lesson." But just then, a new notification appeared. Ice Spirit Soul has met the conditions not mandatory. Seeing this, Lindsay's impassive face showed a hint of surprise. He quickly regained his composure, realizing he had the final say. He raised his hand. Congratulations on the evolution consuming 10 ice elemental essences. This time, it was Little Snowball's turn to transform. Unlike the dark attribute of the rock demon, the ice spirit soul was clad in an icy blue hue right after the fight. Now he had to block the pressure from Little Snowball's evolution. Lindsay's face was bewildered. Oh no, this time it's bone-chillingly cold. New notification evolution successful. Little Snowball transformed into a young maiden. Information updated. Little Snow Maiden ice attribute, current level tier 4 stage 1, growth rate 0%. Old skills: ice pool, frost breath, extreme ice release, continuous ice shield, ice spikes, new upgraded skills, ice wrap, ice mace, advanced area of effect damage skill. In a designated area, it condenses a large amount of ice shards that fall like a waterfall. Advanced Frost Breath creates a stream of ice mist with extreme cold, dealing massive ice-type damage in an area. Advanced Ice Crystal Mirror Shield. A defensive skill controls ice elements to form an ice mirror that blocks attacks and reflects partial damage. Blizzard. An area of effect damage skill creates a blizzard in a designated area, dealing massive ice-type damage and slowing enemies. The Snow Maiden looked ahead with a cold gaze. Expressionless Lindsay observed that all her skills had been significantly upgraded, but his happiness didn't mean the rock demon was happy. Its face trembled with terror. Oh no, I'm so dead. You dared to hit me. Now I'll freeze you solid. You think you're tough enough to challenge me now? The rock demon's legs were frozen by the Snow Maiden's ice. Lindsay coldly commanded. Test your skill. The Snow Maiden cast ice wrap, and countless ice blades hovered over the rock demon's head. Sweating profusely with a pathetic look, it knew it had lost and had to submit. The rock demon knelt before its sister, the Snow Maiden, after she had taught it a lesson. Lindsay sternly instructed, "Since I have a contract with you, that means I am your master. Therefore you must obey my commands without question. If you don't change your attitude—" A cold glint flashed in his eyes. "I won't hesitate to say goodbye to you." The kneeling rock demon trembled, covered in sweat, as Lindsay continued. "Now let me ask you again, do you believe me?" With no other choice but mental intimidation, the ice blade still hovered over its head like a real threat. The rock demon then stood up and bowed to Lindsay. Seeing its obedience, he nodded. Good, never again. The ice blades disappeared. The rock demon immediately turned and bowed to the Snow Maiden beside him. Suddenly, there was frantic knocking at the door. "Open up!" Lindsay rushed to open it. A tall, angry neighbor glared at him and yelled, "Hey kid, what the hell are you doing at this hour? Do you have any idea what happened to my wall?" Hearing this, Lindsay quickly waved his hands. "I'm so sorry, I'll pay for the damages." Still angry, the neighbor held up 3 fingers and yelled, "This isn't the first or second time you have to pay for emotional distress, too. At least 300,000. Lindsay was stunned. His jaw dropped. 300,000, pressing his advantage. The man continued, "That's right. You have 3 days to pay, or else I'll—" He suddenly froze as the rock demon glared at him with intense killing intent, raising its fist. A question mark appeared over the neighbor's head. Huh? The attack came in a flash, but Lindsay stopped it, the fist halting just inches from the neighbor's neck. The bewildered man asked, "Is this your pet? What kind of monster is this?" Seeing the tense situation, Lindsay smiled. "Sorry, I'm readjusting the numbers. How does this compensation sound to you?" The rock demon glared again with killing intent, making the big man tremble in fear. "Ah, forget it." The man laughed and replied, "A real man doesn't sweat the small stuff." Later that evening, in Lindsay's room, everything was still a mess. Nothing had been repaired. On the bed, he slept with the Snow Maiden. While the rock demon sat cross-legged by the bedside, time flew by and sunlight enveloped the building. Lindsay jolted up in bed to see the Snow Maiden sitting beside him watching something on her phone. "Super Idol, a smile is your best specialty." Somewhere, Guan Ning was calling him bro. "Today's the entrance exam for Ningjiang Academy. You forgot, didn't you?" On the other end, Lindsay was dazed. An important day like this, and he overslept. "How stupid of me," he said loudly. "Let's meet at the school gate." Cut to the Beast Taming School. A car waited at the gate where other students were already gathered. A voice called out, "Lindsay is here." It was Guan Ning. Lindsay, from a distance, she waved, "Hey, over here this way." Lindsay waved back while the other students looked displeased. He walked over calmly as murmurs spread. "He's actually late on such an important day. I guess he's just too arrogant. What are you talking about?" He passed the hardest entrance exam, you know. To vent everyone's frustration, the head teacher flared up. Bam, a loving punch landed on Lindsay's cheek. Her eyes burning, she said, "You overslept again, huh?" Before he could react, his cheek swelled up. Holding his cheek, Lindsay smiled and explained, "I've been a little tired lately." Hearing this, she leaned in and whispered, "Don't worry about it." "Have you been practicing the soul summons properly?" Before he could greet Guan Ning, she was already nodding eagerly at him in front of the teacher, who looked on confused. After talking with Lindsay, the head teacher stood before the bus and announced loudly, "All right, students, it's time to depart. You are the most elite students of Bin Hai No. 1 High School heading to the Ningjiang Academy entrance exam. It might be more difficult this time, but I hope you all give it your best." She raised a fist with a confident smile. "Of course, don't push yourselves too hard. Regardless of the outcome, you are all my wonderful students. I'll be waiting for good news. Go and do your best." Her encouragement filled everyone with confidence and excitement. Lindsay also smiled, his eyes flashing with determination from her words. "Lindsay, we hope you will be the pride of No. 1 High School." As two cars from Bin Hai drove on the winding mountain roads at a bend, Quan Nin suddenly asked, "Hey, what have you been up to lately? I haven't received any messages from you." Lindsay, with his hands in his pockets, realized he had been too busy and forgot to check Quan Nin's messages. He said, "I've been so busy lately I forgot, ha." Seeing his effort, Quan Nin looked over with a determined gaze. "It's okay. My pet beast, the demonic flame bird, has successfully evolved." "That's amazing, isn't it?" Linza smiled and replied, "Really, that's truly amazing. Yes, it looks like we won't have any problems with this exam." Time flew by and the car arrived in Jiangning City. Skyscrapers appeared before their eyes. Quan Nin pressed her hands against the glass and exclaimed, "Is this Jiangning City? It's so beautiful." Quan Nin's naturalness made Lindsay blush as he accidentally saw her chest right in front of him. When she didn't get a response, Quan Nin looked over in surprise. An awkward silence fell. Sensing the gaffe, Quan Nin quickly returned to her seat, both of them blushing. Zhang Xiaoyun and Lu Xian giggled. Arriving at a magnificent place, the Jiangning Beast Taming Academy came into view. Everyone had gathered. A student exclaimed, "Wow, this is so impressive." That was Lu Xian. A sudden cheer came from her. "It's truly amazing." Then a comment was made by someone as they walked forward. "If I could study here, wouldn't life be incredibly worthwhile?" High above, a mysterious figure sat perched on a stone statue, silently observing the crowd below. After walking a bit further, Lindsay suddenly stopped as if drawn by something. "Please make way." A group of students appeared brazenly walking through the path everyone had just taken. The leader, with long, flowing light brown hair, had her information displayed Labang Van. She spoke up right after. 17 students from Taiping High School are here to participate. On the other side, another group appeared, walking with confident steps. A guy with a buzz cut led them, his voice booming. 21 students from Shanghai High School are here to participate. This person's information appeared Tan Yong. Next to him was a pink-haired girl chewing bubblegum. She blew a bubble, her hand on her hip. Her information was also revealed Guo Xinji. Seeing this, everyone on their side looked surprised. Lu Xian turned to Quan Nin and whispered, "You're our leader. Don't let us lose to them, okay?" Hearing this, Quan Nin glanced to the side where Lindsay was giving a thumbs up with a squinting smile. She immediately raised her fist high and led the group forward, shouting, 12 students from Bin Hai No. 1 High School are here to participate." From a hidden corner, a young man chewing a toothpick looked over with a disdainful expression. What a bunch of country bumpkins. The nearby Labang Van paid no mind. For comparison, Bin Hai City is much more remote than Shanghai City and Taiping City, which are adjacent up north. From the statue above, the mysterious figure suddenly leaped down. After landing, he stood up straight, raised a hand, and gave a radiant smile, attracting everyone's attention. "Great, what enthusiasm. Hello, I am Zhu Heng, the teacher in charge of this exam and registration." Information updated Zhu Heng. Seeing that everyone had gathered, Zhu Heng spread his arms and continued, "First of all, congratulations on excellently passing the previous challenge. But don't celebrate just yet." His expression turned sharp. He added, "The difficulty of this academy's registration exam cannot be compared to the beast taming trial from before. According to statistics from previous years, the elimination rate is as high as 80%. This means only 1 in 10 can pass and enter the Beast Taming Academy." His words caused a stir in the crowd. Liu Xian and Zhang Xiaoyun also joined the discussion. Doesn't that mean the candidates who pass the lower-level trials will definitely be eliminated? Worry was evident on everyone's faces. The guy chewing a toothpick looked over and sneered, "What else did you expect? No one from your Binhai High School can pass anyway, so don't worry." Hearing his provocative words, Liu Xian angrily pointed and shouted, "You have a cursed mouth. Meeting people like this is just infuriating. On the other side..." Tan Yong gave a judgmental look and spoke to Guo Shinji. "Shinji in this crowd. Is there anyone besides the two of us strong enough to pass this test?" Hearing this, Jinji's scrutinizing gaze swept over the crowd. She immediately locked onto a target, Lebangvan. Her assessment came, "This guy looks very strong." Then her eyes moved elsewhere, stopping on a few students. Among them was Lin Zi with his cold expression. Her assessment continued. "There's something a little strange about this guy." The bubblegum was still inflated. Seeing Jinji standing frozen, Tan Yong asked again, "Shinji, what's wrong?" She blew a bubble and explained, "It's nothing. I just feel that guy's power is almost immeasurable." She was looking at the expressionless Lin Zi, but Tan Yong looked contemptuous. "Yeah, just a country bumpkin. Binhai #1 High School is a tier below ours. Nothing to worry about." Amidst the lively atmosphere, Zhu Heng stepped to the center and continued, "Today, each of you will receive a room in the Academy's hotel area. I hope you all rest and prepare well for the exam in the coming days. The school cafeteria will provide free meals throughout the exam period. Isn't that wonderful?" Cheers erupted as everyone got excited. Zhang Xiaoyun couldn't help it. Her eyes lit up and her voice was full of craving. "I'm so hungry." Quan Nin from behind turned to Lindsay. "Brother, let's go eat." After moving to the Academy's cafeteria, a few students had already chosen their seats. Lin Zi and Quan Nin were also there after their earlier conversation. Whispers came from a corner. "Hey, buddy, check this out." Two people nearby noticed Lin Zi and Quan Nin and whispered, "Hey, look! That girl is so beautiful! Look at that huge rack on her! Totally my type, haha!" The person opposite raised a finger to shush him. "Quiet, lower your voice. Don't ruin our reputation, though I like it too." On their side, Quan Nin picked up a large chicken leg and said loudly, "Hey, you need to eat more." She prepared a plate of rice full of meat and few vegetables for Lin Zi. Lin Zi gave a helpless, dazed smile. "This is enough, this is enough." From behind Quan Nin, Zhang Xiaoyun and Liu Xian appeared. Zhang Xiaoyun teased, "Hey, Quan Nin, isn't there enough food for us? Why aren't you sharing any?" Seeing the two, Quan Nin was surprised. "Xiaoyun Liu Xian." Liu Xian smiled brightly and added, "How sweet. You two are a perfect match." Quan Nin blushed and stammered, Don't say such nonsense." Their arrival attracted the gazes of the two guys from before. One guy pointed, "Damn it, that guy has two more girls surrounding him. The other was jealous. It's disgusting. Why is he so popular? Look at me, aren't I handsome too?" Suddenly, a new person appeared and spoke up. "Hey, classmates, can I sit with you?" Quan Nin gave a judgmental look, but then replied, "Please have a seat." This person smiled brightly, sat down, and continued, "Let me introduce myself. I'm from Qinping High School. My name is Zhu Xiong." Linza asked while eating, "What's up?" Zhu Xiong smiled with squinted eyes. "I heard a student from Bin High City passed the first test at the hardest difficulty. I wonder if he's here this time." Liu Xian looked over with a scrutinizing gaze and asked back, "Why do you ask?" Zhang Xiaoyun added with a suspicious look, "You're here to dig for information before the exam, aren't you? You want us to reveal it so your school can figure us out and defeat us." Hearing the loaded question, Zhu Xiong quickly waved his hands. No, I just want to make friends. For a nobody like me with no reputation if I want a chance in this exam. Being smart is the key. I'm pretty good at that." Quan Nin, eating with her eyes closed, said coldly, "We have nothing to say. Please leave." Seeing her attitude, Zhu Xiong scratched his head and gave a helpless smile. "Don't be so hostile. I'm not bragging, but I know quite a lot about the potential candidates in this exam." He looked towards a familiar figure surrounded by girls and continued, "That's the top student from Qinping High, Lebangvan." Some detailed information was given. "A famous local genius. 2 months ago, he passed the difficult college-level assessment internship. His pet beast is a poison vine demon, a plant type with a poison attribute at the 3rd tier." Liu Xian and Zhang Xiaoyun looked shocked. 3rd tier. How can a high school student have a 3rd-tier pet beast? Zhu Xiang calmly explained, "I forgot to mention he comes from a famous family. He's supplied with high-grade evolution materials." Zhang Xiaoyun and Liu Xian were dazed. "A rich 2nd-generation genius. We're no match for him." Quan Nin listened intently. She was momentarily stunned. 3rd tier. My Firebird is only at the 2nd tier 7th stage. There's indeed a big gap. Ju Xiong continued, pointing in another direction. Look at that girl with the ponytail, Guo Shinji from Shanghai City. She's a genius who passed the difficult college-level assessment internship in 1 month. Her pet beast is an armored worm, a steel and dragon type at the 2nd tier 8th stage. Zhang Xiaoyun was amazed. Could I even train a pet beast to the 2nd tier 8th stage in half a year? Liu Xian chimed in. Perhaps that pet beast was already at the 2nd tier 7th stage when she signed the contract. With high spiritual power, a tamer can directly boost their pet beast's strength. While eating, Lindsay rested his cheek on his hand and glanced aside. Guo Shindi noticed and looked over a question mark forming above her head. She squinted, holding up 2 sparkling fingers, leaving Lin Ze stunned. Ju Xiong continued, pointing in another direction. In Shanghai City, there is another Master Tan Yong who owns a dual-attribute pet beast. Hearing that he had appeared, Zhang Xiaoyun and Liu Xian were utterly terrified. Guan Ying raised her hand. The teacher once said that dual-attribute pet beasts are very rare, usually found in dangerous areas, and are difficult to tame. Lindsay rested his chin on his hand, thinking about his rock demon. He thought for a moment, if I recall correctly, my rock demon has both rock and ghost attributes. This dual attribute is worth developing. Ju Xiong's expression turned dangerous. He smirked. Hey, I've told you everything I know. Can you guys tell me about the person who passed the super-level test in your area? Zhang Xiaoyun smiled and pointed. The person you mentioned is sitting right next to us. Lindsay, mid-bite of a chicken leg, froze. Facing the vague hint directed at him, Lindsay quickly cut in, stunning everyone. That person didn't come today. Seeing everyone's bewildered expressions, he added, Sorry, the person you are looking for is not here. We are not familiar with that guy. Hearing this, Ju Xiong closed his eyes and replied, All right then. Since you don't want to talk, I won't force it. See you around. His expression immediately darkened as he walked away. A thought flashed through his mind. It seems they are hiding something. The person who passed the hardest level is definitely one of them. Ju Xiong glanced over the 3 people nearby, then paused, thinking to himself, I'll check on that guy later. Ju Xiong turned back towards Lindsay's group. After Ju Xiong left, Zhang Xiaoyun curiously asked Lin Ze, Why didn't you tell him the truth? That's something to be proud of. Lin Ze glanced down, wiped his mouth with a napkin, and explained with his eyes closed, It's better to be humble. I don't want to reveal my hand too soon. Besides, the information that guy gave us might not be reliable. Hearing that, Guan Ning blushed slightly, thinking to herself that her brother was so thoughtful. After finishing their meal, the 4 of them decided to leave. A new chapter began as Guan Ning turned and said, Xiaoyun, Xiaoyan, let's train together tonight. Let's not lose to any students from other schools. Zhang Xiaoyun and Liu Xian raised their fists in unison and shouted, Got it! With the plan set, Guan Ning turned to her brother and asked, Brother, will you come to my room tonight? Can the 4 of us stay together? An image of 3 scantily clad girls flashed through Lindsay's mind. He was stunned, speechless. Just then, a student from another school suddenly got close. He slapped Guan Ning hard on the butt. It happened so fast it startled her. The guy who teased them earlier with a toothpick in his mouth said, Can we come to your room tonight? His despicable expression was obvious. Guan Ning, with my refined taste, cannot tolerate this vulgar behavior. She spun around, her killing intent flaring as she aimed right at him. She threw a punch as fast as lightning, but the guy smugly blocked it with one hand, grabbing her wrist and mocking her. You've got a fiery temper, I like it. The 2 guys next to him roared with laughter at his words and actions. Aha! From behind Guan Ning, a pair of crimson eyes flashed with killing intent. Lindsay glared and growled, let go of her hand. Guan Ning said worriedly, Brother, just let it go. If you fight here, the school will definitely punish you. Hearing this, the guy gave her the middle finger, his expression growing even viler at your Binhai High School. The girls are quite slutty, aren't they, you weakling? Before he could finish, a punch like a sledgehammer suddenly flew at his face. Lindsay's punch landed, distorting the guy's face. His body flew like a ball, hitting the ground and bouncing up again. A loud shout rang out, Brother Rui. The 2 guys behind were stunned by Lindsay's action. They shouted, You little brat, are you trying to start a fight? Faced with their blatant provocation and unforgivable actions, Lin Ze's killing intent exploded. The air grew thick. I can overlook anything you say. But you dare to bully my sister? The 2 guys stared wide-eyed, stunned by his killing intent and words. The murderous aura lingered. Lin Zi roared, "There is no way I'm letting him get away." Zirui, struggling to his feet after the surprise punch, raised a power-filled hand and yelled, "You bastard, let's settle this right here." Just then, a hand grabbed his arm. A voice rang out, stopping him. "Stop." It was none other than Li Bingyun. He continued, "Don't embarrass us any further here." Seeing Li Bingyun stop him, Zirui yelled, "Brother Yun, we can't let him get away with that." Li Bingyun stepped forward to mediate. "That was a pretty strong punch. Can we consider this matter settled?" Linza frowned and replied, "This isn't over." Seeing that Linze wasn't satisfied, Li Bingyun stepped forward and added, "All right, I'll teach him a lesson when we get back. If you have any further complaints, you can come find me." Blue and green energy from the two clashed intensely, trying to end the incident quickly. Guanning spoke up from behind, "Hey, let's just go." Hearing his sister and seeing the other party's attitude, Lindsay closed his eyes and prepared to leave. But he didn't forget to add, "Fine, I'll see you at the exam." Then the four of them left. Guanning looked at him and cheered, "Brother, you were so cool." Li Bingyun watched them intently. Zirui's despicable expression became more apparent. A thought flashed through his mind. It seems he's asking for trouble. Later that night, in a dormitory, the lights were bright in one particular room. Steam and soap bubbles filled the bathroom where Guanning Liu Xian and Zhang Xiaoyun were bathing together. Laughter rang out. "Geez, why is it so crowded in here?" Zhang Xiaoyun said with a mischievous look. "Of course, it's to thank you for helping us with our training." Liu Xian, with a similar expression, added, "Our pet beasts have reached the second stage. Our chances of winning this time are huge. To thank you, we'll help you pick up the soap." Guanning's face turned red as she yelled, "Don't touch it!" The two reached out their hands, giggling. After hearing Zhu Xiong speak, the group of girls were all stunned with shocked expressions. Linze replied tactfully with a meaningful tone, "Sorry, the person you're looking for isn't here. We are not close with him at all." Zhu Xiong couldn't hide his disappointment as his brow furrowed. He picked up his food tray and turned to leave. His voice was cold all right then. "Since you don't want to talk, I won't force you. See you later." As Zhu Xiong walked away, he was lost in thought. It seems Linz's group is hiding something. The person who passed the super hard difficulty is probably hiding among them. Arriving back at his seat, he whispered to his friends, "Later, let's carefully test that kid." Just as Zhu Xiong left, Si Yan turned to Linzi. With a curious gaze, she asked Linzi, "Why didn't you tell him the truth? It's something to be proud of." Linzi wiped his mouth and replied frankly, "I don't want to reveal my hand. It's better to stay humble. I don't want to become a target this early. Besides, the information he shared might not even be true." As the group left the cafeteria, Guanning turned to give instructions to Si Yan and Xiao Yun. In a determined voice, she said, "Let's train together tonight. We absolutely cannot lose to the students from other high schools, understand?" The two girls nodded in agreement. Guanning suddenly had an idea and turned to Linza, "Brother, you should come to our room tonight. The four of us can train together." A mischievous thought flashed through Lindsay's mind, but before he could react, some strangers from behind suddenly slapped Guanning hard on the butt. Zirui, their leader, smirked lewdly. "How about we come to your room tonight, little lady?" Guanning, her face flushed with anger, was about to charge forward, but Zirui quickly blocked her. In a vulgar tone, he said, "Fiery, but I like it." His cronies behind him howled with laughter. Behind Kwang Min, Lam Trok's uncontrollable anger erupted, his eyes cold with killing intent. He threatened, "Let go." Kwang Min, though furious, tried to hold him back, urging him to leave. Fighting here will definitely lead to punishment, but Tu Nue, being shameless, continued to provoke them. "You guys from Binhai High School, your girls are decent looking, but your men are as soft as eggs." Lam Trok couldn't hold back any longer. He threw a thunderous punch right at Tu Nue. Blood splattered, causing his underlings to panic and yell, "Brother Tu Nue." They aggressively charged forward, growling looking for a fight. Lam Trok, seething with anger, retorted without hesitation, "I don't care what happens to me, but daring to bully my little sister is absolutely unforgivable." Tu Nue smirked and roared, "You bastard, then let's settle who's stronger right here." Just then, an authoritative voice cut through the brawl stop. It was Bang Van, a man with a calm yet powerful presence. He looked at Lam Trok with sharp eyes. "The force behind that punch of yours was not light, let's call it a draw." Then he turned to Tu Nue, his voice steely, "This isn't over. When we get back, I will teach him a lesson. But if you say anything else I don't like, you can come find me." Lam Trok and Bang Van stared at each other like fire and water, neither willing to back down. Kwang Nin quickly pulled Lam Trok's arm, saying, "Brother, let's go." Lam Trok lowered his head as if contemplating something, finally nodding all right. "Then we will meet again at the test." As Kwang Nin's group left, the atmosphere suddenly became lively. The girls excitedly praised brother, he's so cool. On the other side, Bang Van narrowed his eyes, a meaningful smile on his face. So it's you, Lam Track. The scene now shifts to the dormitory where cheerful laughter echoes from the bathroom. 3 girls were cheerfully enjoying themselves, making Kwang Nin blush with embarrassment. You guys are the worst. Why did you all come in here together? Tu Yen teased, of course, it's to thank you for helping us train. Huvan also laughed and added, our pet beasts have also reached the 2nd stage. Isn't that largely thanks to you? To thank you, we will give you a little massage. Kwang Nin shouted in embarrassment, don't just touch me anywhere. The scene changes to the competition day in the main hall where students have gathered. Tan Hak walked onto the stage. Has everyone arrived? I am Tan Hak, his voice echoing with authority. First, I have some good news for all of you. Regarding the skill level of this year's first candidate group, I have analyzed your past performances and reached a conclusion. Suddenly, his face darkened, his cold gaze sweeping over the students below. He pointed directly, his voice firm. You are the worst batch of candidates I have ever had. I have no expectations for you at all. Hearing this, Tu Yen's face went pale, her heart filled with confusion. What kind of good news is this? Just then, the man Lam Trak had punched the other day smirked and chimed in, it's because they are dragging us down. Tu Yen, seething with anger, pointed at him and yelled, Hey, you better hope I don't run into you during the test. Tan Hak paid no mind and continued, his voice calm but full of pressure. Next, we will proceed with the test on the origin stele in the illusionary realm. There is no difficulty selection. This exam is called the Deep Bed Mystic Realm. On the stage, a giant ruby-colored stone stele flashed brilliantly. On its surface, vivid images appeared. A dense forest with countless demonic beasts lurking mixed with ferocious beasts roaring fiercely and exuding terrifying power. Then Tan Hak began his instructions in a clear voice. After meditating, you will all enter the illusionary realm. Each of you will have a score display on your arm. Points are calculated based on the number of fierce beasts you defeat. A first stage fierce beast is 10 points, a second stage is 20 points, and a third stage is 40 points. That man spoke up again, his voice filled with insinuation. Sometimes you are the hunter, but also the prey. If your pet beast or you yourself die in the illusionary realm, you will be eliminated. Furthermore, in the center of the illusionary forest, there is a stone stele that records the scores and coordinates of the 10 players. With the highest scores, hearing about third-stage fierce beasts, the students couldn't help but tremble. There are even third-stage fierce beasts. Then won't we be eliminated immediately if we run into them? A panicked voice rang out from the crowd. Tan Hak continued without pausing. The exam duration is 4 hours. After 4 hours, we will select the 10 candidates, with the highest scores based on the rankings. Suddenly, a voice interrupted. It was Lebangvan, his eyes questioning. Instructor, can we only kill the fierce beasts? Hearing this, Tan Hak gave a strange smile and replied, excellent question. If you defeat and kill other candidates, you will receive all of their points. As soon as he finished speaking, the students erupted in a panic. How can there be such a cruel rule? Isn't this just encouraging us to slaughter each other? Another student yelled, if we team up to hunt students from other schools, we will surely make it into the top 10. Dam Dung, standing in a corner, smirked upon hearing this, his eyes flashing with excitement. Then I can finally let loose. Tan Hak quietly glanced at Lam Trak, who was standing in the distance. His gaze was intent but showed no emotion. With his powerful echoing voice, Tan Hak silenced the noisy students. Shut your mouths. Young ones, a real battlefield is far more brutal. If anyone wishes to withdraw, now is the time to speak up. He paused, then continued in a meaningful tone, by the way, the person who ranks first will be awarded the position of freshman chief, along with many privileges after enrollment. Tan Hak narrowed his eyes, thinking to himself, now let's see. Who exactly is the true king among these freshmen? Standing in a corner, Kwang Nin was deep in thought, her eyes filled with anticipation. If I can just meet Brother Lam Trak in the illusionary realm, even if I don't make the top 10, I can still help him. Just then, Lam Trak approached, his voice steady. Kwang Nin, after you enter the illusionary realm, use your paralysis demon bird's flight ability to find and reunite with me as quickly as possible. Kwang Nin smiled and nodded obediently, her eyes sparkling with trust. Once the students had settled, Tan Hak spoke with a solemn voice. Please begin your meditation and enter the illusionary realm. A while later, Lam Trak entered the realm. He scanned his surroundings, his sharp gaze searching for something important. In the distance, a towering crimson pillar appeared. It was the origin stele. He looked down to read the display on his arm. Score 0. Time remaining 3:59. Lamtrak pondered. The display on his arm only showed his own score, not whether he was in the top 10. In other words, everyone will eventually have to go to the Central Stele to check their ranking. But that place will likely become the most dangerous area in the later stages. He frowned, continuing his analysis. If you only focus on scoring points and don't go to the Stele even if you are in the top 10, your coordinates will still be displayed, attracting attacks from other contestants. After some thought, Lamtrak smiled. He had his answer. It seems the purpose of this test is to force players to fight each other. But as long as you are strong enough, all rules can be ignored. No one can steal the points of the strong, and the points of the weak will only fall into the hands of the strong. Lamtrak waved his hand, summoning the Rock Fiend and Snow Maiden, his aura flaring powerfully. Since it's a game, might as well have fun. Suddenly a figure lunged to attack him, but failed. It even clumsily bumped into itself, revealing 2 sharp fangs. Lamtrak looked closer and saw it was a 2-headed python, a first-stage 9th-rank wild beast. One of its heads was hissing ferociously. The other head was whining pitifully, its eyes fixed on him. Lamtrak mused, his voice firm for safety. I will keep soul protection active. After all, it doesn't consume too much soul power. Then he yelled his aura, flaring Rock Fiend. Immediately, the Rock Fiend lumbered forward at its master's call. Its massive body radiated a terrifying power. Lamtrak stroked his chin, his eyes twinkling with calculation. First, I'll hold back my power to see what level the Rock Fiend can reach on its own. This life's attributes are really worth exploring. As the Rock Fiend advanced, the 2-headed python panicked, coiling into itself and hastily trying to escape. Seeing its cowardly display, Lamtrak just smirked, paying it no mind. He calmly ordered the Rock Fiend, just leave it. Don't chase it. A first-stage 9th rank is only worth 10 points, but its strength is not much different from a second-stage 1st rank, which is worth 20 points. So killing one at a high rank within each stage is the least efficient. If we want a real test, let's find a stronger, fierce beast to challenge. Hearing this, the Rock Fiend excitedly pounded its fists together, making a powerful thud. Lamtrak grew thoughtful, a flicker of worry in his mind. I wonder if Kwang Nin can find me easily. I hope everything goes smoothly. But elsewhere in the illusionary realm, Kwang Nin was carefully planning her path. Her gaze was intensely focused. Suddenly, a giant centipede appeared silently behind her. Luckily, her flame demon bird appeared just in time, spitting a fierce fire that incinerated the monster. Kwang Nin sighed in relief and glanced at her arm display. Score 30, time remaining 3 hours and 45 minutes. She pointed in one direction, her voice firm, flame demon bird, let's go. With her pet beast, the young girl headed straight for the Central Stele, her eyes gleaming with determination and hope. Brother Lamtrak, where are you? The scene shifts to a vast forest. In the sky, the demon flame bird soared, its cold eyes scanning below. Through its vision, Kwang Nin watched as ferocious monsters clashed under the forest canopy. Some fled in fear while giant growling monkeys claimed the area. The demon flame bird landed. Kwang Nin frowned, calculating that a pet beast could not be away from its master for too long. It seems the only way is to press forward and try my luck. With Lindsay's strength, getting into the top 10 should be easy. I just need to find the coordinates on the stone tablet to meet him. Suddenly, a monster charged from behind at an incredible speed. Kwang Nin deftly leaped away in an instant. The monster, a golden-backed ostrich, was completely unaware and just kept running. She recalled from the Pet Beast library that a Tier 2 Level 5 golden-backed ostrich was no match for her Tier 2 Level 7 demon flame bird. As expected, the demon flame bird lunged like lightning, finishing off the monster before it could react. 20 points were easily hers, but at that moment, a shadow suddenly shot out from behind, aiming straight for them. Witnessing this, Kwang Nin felt a surge of horror. She quickly turned back, her voice filled with shock. Who is it? A banana-shaped boomerang was thrown from a distance. A giant monkey slowly approached, and Rui, standing beside it, also drew near. A sinister smile played on his lips. He was a human-type Tier 2 Level 4. The wound on his face was still visible, but he maintained a smug look and a faint smirk. What a coincidence. We meet again. Kwang Nin glanced at Rui, her eyes filled with contempt. So it's you. Don't you think stealing from others is despicable? But Rui just laughed loudly, his voice nonchalant. The rules don't say we can't do it. I don't just want your things. He paused, his smile growing excited as he pointed. I want you too, little lady. Then he shouted, "Servant, go kill that stupid bird." The giant monkey immediately charged, swinging the banana-shaped boomerang straight down. Kwang Nin panicked and yelled, "Dodge it." The demon flame bird reacted instantly, dodging the attack. But then she realized the real target was her. She quickly retreated to evade it. But she didn't expect Zirui to already be behind her, easily grabbing her. He sneered, "Nice dodge. Now you can't command your demon flame bird anymore." "Right." Kwang Nin stared at him coldly, her gaze sharp as a knife. Zirui continued smugly with a provocative smile. Compared to ordinary pet beasts, the greatest advantage of human-type ones is that we have superior intelligence and can act on our own. My master's order was just to mess with your actions. Meanwhile, the battle between the two beasts raged on. The giant monkey had the demon flame bird in a tight grip, preventing its escape. Zirui smirked with a vulgar tone. "Before I eliminate you, I should enjoy myself a little first." The display on his wrist showed 40 points with 0302 remaining. In another part of the forest, Lindsay glanced at his watch while sizing up the nearby monsters. They were easily defeated by his rock demon and snow maiden. Suddenly, he noticed movement ahead. A beast-type Tier 2 Level 4 giant demon toad was facing a wide-mouthed monster. It was an aberration-type Tier 2 Level 7. The wide-mouthed monster opened its jaws and swallowed a small monkey instantly. Chu Xiong, standing nearby, grinned smugly. "Earning points this way is just too easy." 60 points. Suddenly, a voice came from behind. Chu Xiong turned to see Lin Zi waving with a cheerful voice. "Hey, it's you! We met in the cafeteria." Lin Zi smiled back friendly. "That's right, brother Chu Xiong." But inwardly, he was calculating, this guy probably doesn't know who I am. He knows a lot, so I can use him. Looking at Chu Xiong, Lin Zi smirked to himself, thinking that thing looks pretty cool. Chu Xiong looked at the pet beast behind Lin Zi and couldn't help but exclaim, "Is that a rare beast? I've never seen one before." His mind started racing with calculations. But it seems this isn't the Lin Zi who cleared the super hard difficulty. According to the info, that guy uses an ice-type pet. Lin Zi put on an innocent face and smiled awkwardly. "Brother Chu Xiong, mine isn't really that rare. It's just an ordinary D-rank pet beast that recently reached Tier 2. Hearing that, Chu Xiong's eyes lit up. With a smug smile, he eagerly said, "Then you should get a good look at my wide-mouthed monster. It's a rare aberration type. Besides, he's already reached the second stage 7th level." Linze continued his act, responding enthusiastically. "Wow, you're so amazing," flattered and pleased, Chu Xiong continued, "since fate brought us together. How about I help you get some points? Just listen to me and I guarantee you'll make the top 10. Lindsay grinned cheerfully. That would be great. But a sinister plan was forming in Chu Xiong's mind. This idiot wants to use me. When he's no longer useful, I'll just kill him and take his points. The scene shifts. Zirui, having been slammed to the ground by Kwang Nin, screamed in pain, "Damn you, bitch!" Suddenly he felt something was wrong. He looked ahead in panic. Kwang Nin, her face as cold as ice, spoke slowly, her voice filled with killing intent. "Last time my brother dealt with you. Did you think I would let you off easily?" Her demon flame bird suddenly burst into brilliant flames, circling a few times in the air. Its overwhelming aura made Zirui's ape tremble. It froze in fear, ignoring its master's pleas. Zirui screamed in desperation, "Hey, get back here!" But the ape only cowered, abandoning him. Looking at his pathetic state, Kwang Nin couldn't help but mock. It seems having a pet with its own mind isn't always a good thing, is it? Zirui, his face flushed with pain, weakly raised a hand to beg, "I have one last request. Please don't hit where your brother hit me." But his words went unheard. A terrible scream echoed through the forest. Kwang Nin took him down, gaining 70 points. The man was defeated, and she looked at the leaderboard. Labang Van, 170 points. Guo Xin Yi, 120. Lugang, 100. Kwang Nin, 70. Chu Xiong, 60. Outside Tan, he observed the illusionary realm with an appraising look. This batch of candidates isn't as bad as I thought. In less than an hour, someone already broke 100 points. The scene shifts to another part of the forest. Labang Van walked at a leisurely pace. In front of him was a beast-type Tier 3 Level 1 spotted fierce tiger exuding a ferocious aura, but from behind a plant-type Tier 3 Level 3 poison vine demon silently appeared, its eyes vacant yet dangerous. Before the giant tiger could react, it had already swung its sharp claws straight at the poison vine demon. The tiger's eyes flashed with contempt, but the poison vine demon immediately shot out vines, attacking fiercely. With its quick reflexes, the tiger easily broke free. It even swallowed them whole, its eyes burning with rage. But Labangvan just smirked and ordered indifferently Poison Vine Demon stop playing around. It's time to find our next prey. The tiger, thinking it had won, suddenly heard strange sounds from its stomach. It panicked, its eyes wide with absolute terror. Inside its body, countless vines from the Poison Vine Demon burst out, tearing it apart from within. The fearsome monster returned to its master and carefully used its roots to absorb the essence from the corpse. The Poison Vine Demon made strange sounds as if it had just leveled up. Labangvan smiled cunningly and whispered the top spot among the new students this time. "Belongs to me and me alone." An announcement sounded. Labangvan has reached 210 points. The scene shifts to the forest's center where contestants were watching the leaderboard on the origin stone tablet. First place, Labangvan, 210 points. Guo Xinyi, 120. Lu Gang, 110. Kwang Nin, 90. Chuxiong, 70. Countless other names were still trying to climb the ranks. Time remaining, 0239. Nearby, Tan Yong smiled in satisfaction. Guo Xinyi spoke softly with a worried tone. "It's because you let me have all the beasts on our way here. But you don't have any points yourself. Won't that be a problem?" Tan Yong replied calmly, a hidden scheme in his voice. "We just have to kill someone on the leaderboard and take their points right." Hearing that, Guo Xinyi's eyes gleamed with interest. "So who do we start with?" Tan Yong studied the leaderboard on the stone tablet, his brow furrowed in thought. Labangvan is leading, but it's too soon to target him. Lu Gang is a schoolmate, so that's not ideal. But when Kwang Nin's name came up, his eyes darkened with murderous intent. Guo Xinyi, standing beside him, asked curiously, "I remember there's a young genius named Lin Zi. Why isn't his name on the leaderboard?" Tan Yong scoffed in contempt. "Young genius don't make me laugh. I think he probably just cheated somehow. He's all hype and no substance." He pointed east, his voice stern. "Kwang Nin isn't far from us." Far away through the dense forest, a scene appeared. Kwang Nin was standing there next to the demonic flame bird. Taking a break to recover her strength, her pensive eyes stared at the pet beast in front of her. She thought to herself, on the left is the iron-winged mantis, on the right is the man-eating flower. Brother Lamb Track, where on earth are you? Where do I have to go to find you? The scene shifts to Lamb Track. He and Chu Hung were happily advancing deep into the forest. In front of them, a Tier 2 Stage 4 plant-type withered beast suddenly appeared. Its grotesque face turned towards them. Chu Hung immediately pointed and said boisterously, "I'll leave this one to you. I'll stand by and support you in a moment," but in his heart a sinister plot was forming. "I'll wait for him to wound the beast, then I'll land the final blow and steal the points." What a great plan. But Chu Hung never expected Lamb Track's rock demon to unleash a single thunderous blow, making the withered beast collapse instantly, completely unable to fight. Chu Hung stood by, his eyes wide with astonishment, silently screaming in his heart, a one-hit kill for real. The countdown timer now showed only 2 minutes and 20 seconds. The leaderboard updated. Labangvan, 290 points first place, Kwak Tam Day, 200 points, Lu Kwang, 170 points, Kwang Nin, 140 points. Lu Daihong, 100 points, Lamb Track, 120 points, 9th place, Chu Hung, 70 points, 15th place. A total of 17 contestants have been eliminated. Tan Hak stood outside observing the scene. The corners of his mouth curled up in satisfaction. So that's Lamb Track, the kid who passed the legendary super hard difficulty. In less than 2 hours, he climbed from 33rd to 9th place. He's truly capable. He watched Lam Track and Chu Hung advancing forward together. He thought to himself, so this is an interesting team. With a slightly awkward expression, Chu Hung spoke up. "Hey, brother, I just told you to go first. I didn't tell you to one-shot it. You should have at least left one for me." Lam Track smiled, his voice soft but meaningful. "Sorry about that." He shrugged calmly. "Anyway, this exam affects our future studies. So I always have my pet beast attack with full force. If you want points too, Chu Hung, then I'll let you have the next one." Hearing this, Chu Hung's heart filled with rage. "This little brat is so smug. Just wait, I'll kill you and take all your points." But just then a system notification sounded. "A rare-grade fierce beast has appeared in the area ahead." Lamb Track glanced in that direction. His eyes flashed with satisfaction. "A rare grade, I wonder what I can get from it." The two quickly advanced toward the signal's location. In front of them was a giant tree. It had a strange shape with no leaves, just a bare, gnarled trunk. Chu Hung excitedly rushed forward, his voice gloating, "A golden tree, this must be the surprise reward." But before he could celebrate, roots suddenly shot up from the ground and wrapped tightly around his legs. Chu Hung struggled and shouted angrily, "Damn it!" The tree suddenly transformed. A distorted face appeared, its eyes staring straight ahead, exuding a terrifying aura. It was the golden withered beast, a Tier 3 Stage 9 plant type. Chu Hung panicked, not understanding what was happening. The golden withered beast. He hurriedly shouted for his pet beast, "Wide-mouthed monster, come save me." But as soon as he finished speaking, the wide-mouthed monster was tightly bound by tree roots, unable to move. Chu Hung fell into despair, feeling his strength being drained by the golden withered beast. He looked at Lam Trak standing calmly nearby and shouted, "Brother, come help me quick." Lam Trak looked at him with a hint of reluctance and replied, "But didn't we agree one prey each?" Chu Hung quickly forced a fawning smile, his voice urgent. "Don't be so stubborn. This situation is different, isn't it? This thing seems incredibly powerful. We need to team up to beat it." Lam Trak waved his hand slightly, turning as if to leave his voice, teasing, "Brother Hung, don't joke with me. I know you definitely have a way to defeat it. I'll be on my way then." Hanging upside down in the air, Chu Hung shouted in panic, "No, brother, don't. I'm begging you." Lam Trak stopped his steps, looking back with a cold, sharp gaze. His voice lowered. "I can save you, but what's in it for me?" Chu Hung gritted his teeth in anger. "This bastard dares to threaten me," he roared silently. "Just wait until you get me out of here and see if I don't kill you." With a fawning smile, Chu Hung hurriedly said, "Actually, I know some secrets about the others. I can tell you everything." Lam Trak replied, his gaze calm but sharp. "Then start talking." Seeing he was about to be swallowed by the golden withered beast, Chu Hung yelled in panic, "Labang Van and Quach Tam Di specialize in soul techniques. Oh my God, big brother, can you get me down first?" Hearing this, Lam Trak's heart wavered slightly. Specialize in soul techniques like Ladat's enhancement technique. This information is valuable. He immediately commanded in a stern voice, "Rock Demon, use pulverizing lunge aim for its abdomen." The Rock Demon obeyed, clenching its fist and rushing towards the monster at an astonishing speed. But at that moment, countless golden roots shot up from the ground towards the sky. The Rock Demon didn't flinch, nimbly dodging with its fists clenched, ready to strike at any moment. However, the golden roots suddenly shot forward like lightning, wrapping tightly around its body before it could react. In an instant, the Rock Demon was completely bound, unable to move. Lam Trak stood aside, his eyes pensive as he calculated. A Tier 2 Stage 9 Rock Demon against a Tier 3 Stage 9 Golden Withered Beast is still struggling this much. It seems I have to summon the Snow Maiden to end this charade. But then he remembered something and his eyes flashed. The Rock Demon in front was still trembling, struggling to break free. Lam Trak erupted in anger and shouted, "Rock Demon, is this all the skill you have? Break free from me now." Hearing its master's words, the Rock Demon's expression changed, its eyes blazing with determination. More and more golden roots rose from the ground, wrapping its body tightly into a small ball. But unexpectedly, the Rock Demon's body began to dissipate, shrinking down like a speck of dust. Seeing this, Chu Hung shouted in alarm, "It's over. It's about to be completely absorbed." At this moment, on the big screen, Lam Trak's imposing figure appeared. The system announced time remaining 1 minute 54 seconds, number of people eliminated. 27. Tan Hak stood there, his sharp eyes carefully assessing. Let's see what the true strength of this genius who passed the super hard difficulty really is. In the illusionary realm, Lam Trak's Rock Demon, which had just been bound by the golden roots, suddenly vanished. A pitch-black vortex that had never appeared before. It slowly gathered and reformed into the pet beast's shape. Lam Trak was stunned, his eyes shining brightly as he looked ahead in disbelief. Its body has been enhanced and a new skill has been unlocked. Ghost Spirit state lasts for 30 seconds. Hanging high up, Chu Hung stared with wide-eyed shock. What is this thing? He looked down at Lam Trak and marveled inwardly. Dual attributes really do have special abilities. Let's see how strong this Ghost Spirit state is. The golden withered beast let out a terrifying roar. Giant roots shot straight towards the Rock Demon, but to its surprise, all its attacks were ineffective. The Rock Demon in its Ghost Spirit state was completely intangible, evading physical damage and all control effects. A system notification appeared before Lam Trak. Skills Rock Shot, Barrage, Lunge, and Pulverize cannot be used. Earth Spike is available. Lam Trak immediately commanded in a stern voice, "Go." Use Rock Shot Barrage, aim for its eyes and abdomen. The Rock Demon's body turned a strange black color using telekinesis to control giant rocks that shot forward. The golden withered beast couldn't defend itself. Taking the painful attack, it was forced to release Chu Hung and the wide-mouthed monster who fell to the ground. Lam Trak watched with a pensive gaze. The level difference is too great. This much damage isn't enough to defeat the golden withered beast. His face pale, Chu Hung hurriedly dragged the wide-mouthed monster and fled the area. If this brat dies here, all his points will go to waste. He didn't dare look back, only focusing on escaping. After recovering, the golden withered beast roared fiercely, its terrifying aura filling the air. Unfazed, Lam Trak whispered softly, summoning his trump card, the Snow Maiden. A stunningly beautiful ice lady appeared, her cold eyes scanning ahead. She unleashed a fierce blizzard, an icy vortex engulfing the golden withered beast and making it stagger. At the same time, the rock demon returned to its original form, its body glowing with power. It rushed forward, executing Pulverize. A powerful, thunder-like blow struck down, making the entire forest tremble. The Snow Maiden stood there, her face cold and emotionless. With a sharp gaze, Lam Trak gave a decisive command, Rock Demon, activate Ghost Spirit form. The Rock Demon's body immediately transformed, turning into a pitch-black vortex. It was filled with a terrifying aura. Not one to stand by, Lam Trak clenched his fists, ready to jump into the fight at any moment. He threw a powerful punch, his soul power exploding like a shockwave. The golden withered beast couldn't withstand it, shattering into pieces, its deformed body disintegrating. The system announced you have killed the golden withered beast. Immediately after, a series of notifications appeared. Rock Demon has advanced to Tier 3, new skill Spirit Demon clone. In Spirit Ghost state, I can split into two bodies that retain 100% of the original's damage, copying all actions and skills for 10 seconds at a cost of 100 achievement points. Lindsay smirked with satisfaction. A skill this effective is worth the high cost. The Spirit Ghost clone increases my combat power by 100%, and it just leveled up in this battle. Truly worthy of a king-level route. I really hit the jackpot this time. On the monitor screen, the images of Lindsay and the Snow Maiden appeared clearly. Score 180 points, time remaining 0-120. Chin-Hei, watching from outside, could not help but exclaim how formidable. Especially that ice-type pet beast that just appeared. If I'm not mistaken, that is a god-level potential pet beast. How did this kid manage that? Lindsay looked ahead with a serious gaze. A rare third-tier fierce beast adds 60 points. I cannot be modest anymore. Suddenly, a surprised voice came from behind. Chu Xiong and the wide-mouthed monster returned, staring wide-eyed at the scene. You defeated it! He pointed suspiciously towards the Snow Maiden standing in the distance. Who is she? Is she also a student taking the exam? Which school is she from? Linza stood there, sighing inwardly with a helpless expression. Damn it, I forgot to recall the Snow Maiden, and he saw her. How am I supposed to act my way out of this now? But he quickly composed himself, pointed forward, and said casually, I do not know what happened either. That seems to be a humanoid ice-type fierce beast. It was the one that defeated the golden withered beast. Hearing this, Chu Xiong muttered with a doubtful look. It is also a fierce beast. Why would they kill their own kind? Whose pet beast is that? Could its master be nearby as well? Suddenly, he clutched his head and screamed in panic. No, it is an ice type. Could its master be the legendary Linza if he defeated the golden withered beast? His strength must far exceed ours. The next ones to be killed will definitely be us. He panicked and used his system panel to signal the Snow Maiden pretending to attack. But the Snow Maiden just stood there. Her eyes were blank as if she did not understand. Chu Xiong in his fear pointed at her and shouted, She is staring at us. Just then, countless sharp icy arrows appeared in the air, flashing with a deadly light. Ice blast. Chu Xiong hugged the wide-mouthed monster, tightly trembling and yelling, She really is trying to kill us. We are doomed. The Snow Maiden had a cold look in her eyes. She raised her hand as if preparing to unleash a terrifying attack. Chu Xiong's face turned pale. He glanced at Lindsay and the rock ghost. If we both get eliminated here, it would be a huge loss. Better to kill this guy and run. Suddenly, a pink garlic-shaped beast rushed over urgently. It ran to Chu Xiong's side, and they both fled in a hurry. Chu Xiong shouted, Why are you swallowing me? To protect you, of course. The Snow Maiden looked at the system panel that appeared before her and said emotionlessly, I am fine. You should return for now. The rock ghost received a similar notification. You return as well. Chu Xiong and the pink beast, exhausted, finally stopped sweat pouring down. He looked up with a sinister and triumphant smile. Perfect. I escaped the chase and earned points. He turned with a fake worried tone. Are we safe now? Are you okay? Inside the pink beast's stomach, Lindsay lay relaxed with his hands behind his head, smugly thinking, what could possibly happen to me? The soul defense? Shouldn't you let me out now? Chu Xiong asked anxiously, but his mind was full of schemes. Wait, that monster is still chasing us. Just hold on a little longer. He thought to himself, this is not right. This kid is inside with the digestive gases. He should be dissolving by now. Why is he completely fine? Suddenly, the pink beast stammered and then spat Lindsay out along with green stomach fluids. Chu Xiong's eyes widened in shock. How did you get out? Lindsay straightened his clothes and said casually, maybe it has indigestion. He turned back his eyes, twinkling with a smile, and suggested, I think if that monster keeps chasing us, then we could team up to defeat it. Chu Xiong forced a smile, inwardly mocking this kid as terrifyingly stupid, but he maintained a friendly expression. Lindsay raised his hands facing him, his voice calm but sharp. But it does not seem like we are being chased at all. Can you tell me about the specialized soul technique now? Chu Xiong pointed deep into the forest, speaking magnanimously. First, let's go to that stone tablet over there to see if we have made it into the top 10. We can talk on the way. The two walked and talked with the pink beast trotting closely behind. Chu Xiong explained with a meaningful tone the so-called specialized soul technique is actually a unique type of soul art. Only a few beast masters can awaken it. This soul technique cannot be learned from books, and no one can teach it. It depends on the unique constitution of each beastmaster, but because it is so rare, ordinary teachers cannot provide guidance. Lindsay frowned, his eyes flashing with curiosity. Then what are the specialized soul techniques of Guo Xindi and Li Bingyun? In front of them, a strange red pillar appeared engraved with names and scores. Chu Xiong pointed and said hurriedly, that one is quite powerful. Okay, let me go check it out first. On the red pillar, the leaderboard was clear 1 Li Bingyun, 370 points, 2. Guo Xindi, 340 points, 3 Tan Yong, 250 points, 4 Lu Gong, 210 points, 5 Lindsay, 180 points, 6 Guang Ning, 160 points, 7 Liu Dahong, 148 points, 8 Xing Tianfu, 130 points, 9 Lin Haoyong, 120 points, 10 Su Sisi, 100 points. Time remaining 58 minutes. Chu Xiong looked at the board, his heart sinking with disappointment. His name was not there. He clenched his fists, his eyes flashing with determination. There is still a chance. There is only an hour left, and 10th place is only 100 points. If I can steal this kid's points, I will definitely make it into the top 10. Lindsay, standing behind him, called out, interrupting his train of thought. Hey! Chu Xiong jumped and turned around, his eyes wide with fear. Lindsay pulled up his sleeve, revealing the words engraved on his arm, Lindsay, 180 points, 5th. Chu Xiong's eyes bulged as he screamed in shock, 180 points. This brat actually has 180 points. He looked up at the red pillar to confirm 5th Lindsay, 180 points. His legs trembled as he stammered, What is your name? Lindsay replied curtly in a cold voice. Lindsay. Chu Xiong angrily pointed at him and roared, damn it, you have been tricking me this whole time. His face turned pale as he suddenly remembered the Snow Maiden. I forgot the one who cleared the super difficulty has 2 pet beasts. This kid was hiding his true strength, so that ice-type pet beast is his too. I have been played. Lindsay casually put his hands in his pockets, his voice calm, as if I was hiding anything. Have you forgotten? Without me, you would have been killed by the golden withered beast long ago. Now it is time to tell me what you know. Chu Xiong gritted his teeth in anger and cursed, damn you. Do not even dream of finding out. The pink beast received the order to attack, opening its wide mouth and lunging forward as if to swallow its opponent. Chu Xiong yelled, wide-mouthed monster, kill him. But from the front, the rock ghost suddenly appeared, blocking for Lindsay. It launched a powerful blow, sending the pink beast flying. At the same time, the Snow Maiden appeared, her body covered in a cold blue light, exuding an icy aura. Panicked, Chu Xiong collapsed to the ground and scrambled backward, looking in terror at Lindsay and his 2 pet beasts as Lindsay approached. His cold gaze swept down his voice, firm. Your score, though not much, is equivalent to a 3rd-tier fierce beast. I will take it. Chu Xiong trembled and begged, please do not. I will talk now. I just beg you to spare me. Lindsay closed his eyes, his voice low but resolute. I have changed my mind. Actually, whatever their specialized soul techniques are, it is all the same to me. Chu Xiong looked up, his eyes filled with fear. What do you mean it is all the same? Lindsay spread his arms, a smug smile on his face. None of them are my match. Chu Xiong knew there was no escape and could only scream in despair. Lindsay commanded in an ice-cold voice, "Snow Maiden ice coffin." A stream of green liquid suddenly sprayed from Chu Xiong's body, making him arch in pain from behind. The golden withered beast, which had not been completely destroyed, suddenly extended its roots, piercing through Chu Xiong's body and finishing him off. Suddenly a figure appeared, a deep voice calling out, "Linze, I have been waiting for you for a long time." It was Li Bingyun. Before fading away, Chu Xiong managed to shout, "Boss, this guy is Linze. Be careful of his ice-type pet beast." Lindsay looked at Li Bingyun, his guard rising. "I did not expect to meet him here. It seems our old debt should be settled." Li Bingyun stepped forward with a cold gaze. "You can step back and rest first." Hearing this, Chu Xiong was overjoyed. My points were taken by the boss. That is a worthy way to go. His body and the wide-mouthed monster immediately vanished. Li Bingyun's score shot up to 430 points. He looked at Lin Ze with a provocative tone. "Come on, show me your true strength. Let's see who is truly worthy of the top spot on this rookie leaderboard." Lin Ze simply replied in a cold voice, "I have no interest in the title of rookie leader. If you want it, just take it." Hearing this, Li Bingyun smirked faintly. "So you are admitting defeat already?" He burst into maniacal laughter, his eyes flashing with frenzy. "I never thought you would be nothing but a coward. After I defeat you, I will proceed to eliminate everyone else on the leaderboard. Damdung Lu Kwang Kwang Nin, not a single one will be spared." His face was distorted by an overwhelming pleasure, as if he could not stop. Lam Trak suddenly remembered, and his heart sank. Kwang Nin. "Dam Dung Kwak Tam Di and she are in the same location. Kwang Nin must be in danger." He immediately turned around, intending to rush east to leave this place. But Labang Van, with his sharp gaze, would not let him escape so easily. He roared, "I did not expect you to run like that. Stop him for me." The golden withered beast received the command and rushed forward, its roots whipped out like lashes, instantly grabbing the rock golem and the protective barrier around Lam Trak. Labang Van looked at the scene and sneered to be caught so easily by me again. "Truly a clown who does not live up to his name?" He commanded arrogantly, "Poison Vine Demon, drain their power for me. Let's see you try to run." Lam Trak was trapped within the circle of roots, gritting his teeth in anger. Damn it, but Labang Van did not expect the Snow Maiden to appear silently from behind her body, radiating a bone-chilling cold. She was emotionless. She spoke, "I do not have time to play games with you, Labang." Van felt the chill and turned around, startled, his eyes filled with shock. But before he could react, his entire body was completely frozen. The Poison Vine Demon realized its master was in danger and panicked, but in an instant, it too was completely frozen by the Snow Maiden's blizzard. The rock golem broke free from the roots. It launched a powerful blow, sending the monster flying. Lam Trak stood there, his eyes as cold as ice. "I already told you. I do not have time to play with you." The two opponents were defeated in an instant. The ice on their bodies gradually melted, but the Poison Vine Demon still struggled, its roots twitching as if refusing to submit. A figure appeared nearby. He could not help but exclaim, "Such tenacious vitality, to think it is still alive." He mumbled, his eyes glinting with cunning. People often say the mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. He forgot to deliver the final blow. This is my chance. That person was none other than Lu Kwang. In a flash, Lu Kwang unleashed his power and rushed towards Labang Van, yelling, "Labang Van, your points will be mine." He immediately summoned the armored dragon. A second-tier, 9th stage dragon type, it ferociously attacked Labang Van directly. For me, Lu Kwang smirked triumphantly. "Your pet beast can be revived, but what about you? To catch the bandits, you must first catch the king." The armored dragon roared its powerful attack, sending the giant statue of the Poison Vine Demon flying. Lu Kwang laughed heartily, filled with satisfaction. "I have risen to first place." Luck is indeed a part of strength. But when he checked the system leaderboard, he was stunned. Why have my points not changed? The unexpected happened from within the Poison Vine Demon's body. A second Labang Van appeared. In an instant, countless vines shot up and wrapped tightly around Lu Kwang's body. He panicked and yelled, "You, what happened to you?" While Labang Van replied in a strange, eerie voice, "It does not matter if I tell someone who is about to be eliminated. This is my unique soul technique, synchronized simulation." Lu Kwang, terrified, ordered his pet beast, Armored Dragon, attack him now. But in an instant, the dragon was also ensnared by giant roots. Unable to move, its body slowly faded into the vast space, taking Lu Kwang with it. The scene shifts to Lam Trak, who is flying eastward. His heart boiled with rage. Quash Tam Di Dam Dong, if you dare touch Quang Nin, you will all die. His face showed clear anger. When he arrived, he saw Quang Nin being controlled by Quack Tam Di and Dam Dung. Her magic ape bird was imprisoned by a silver pet beast. The system displayed its information. Armored hatchling dragon. A second-tier 8th-stage dragon-type Quang Nin was trapped in a cage, gritting her teeth. One eye was squinted in pain. Damn it, I cannot escape. Quack Tam Di and Dam Dung mocked in unison. Do not bother struggling anymore. Quang Nin beside Dam Dung, another pet beast appeared. Death Mage, a 3rd-tier 2nd-stage dual water magic type Dam. Dung raised a finger, his voice cold. There is no escaping the Death Mage's water demon prison. He turned to Quach Tam Di and ordered, you go and finish her. If you take her points, you will have a chance to become the new student leader. Quach Tam Di stroked her hair and gave a teasing smile. What is wrong? Is it because she is too beautiful that you cannot bring yourself to do it? Dam Dung crossed his arms and closed his eyes, a look of boredom on his face. You know I am not interested in other girls, but Quach Tam Di's tone suddenly changed, her eyes sharp. Do not worry. Let's wait a little longer before we start. Dam Dung frowned, his voice skeptical. Wait for what? From the nearby forest, a strange sound echoed, startling them both. Quach Tam Di used a soul technique, her eyes glowing as she enhanced her vision. The big fish has taken the bait. A brown figure suddenly rushed out. It caught Dam Dung's attention. He immediately deployed a water-type shield, blocking the surprise attacks. The armored hatchling dragon beside him swung its tail powerfully, deflecting the barrage of attacks. From a distance, Lam Trak's figure appeared, flanked by the rock golem and the snow maiden, their presence overwhelming. He called out their names in an ice-cold voice. Quack Tam Di Dam Dung. His face was a mask of fury. The air around him grew heavy and dark. I advise you two to release her as soon as possible. Seeing Lam Trak, the two became slightly worried, especially when they noticed the two powerful pet beasts beside him. The imprisoned Quang Nin thought to herself, those two pet beasts belong to Lam Trak. Now is not the time to be surprised. She spoke up, her voice filled with worried warning. Lam Trak, these two are really strong. You have to be careful. Lam Trak stepped forward without any fear, his gaze firm. Do not worry, I am coming to save you now. Hearing their conversation, Dam Dung narrowed his eyes and pointed at him, his voice suspicious. Are you Lam Trak? The one who cleared the legendary hardest difficulty level. Quach Tam Di smiled, her eyes sparkling. It is him. No wonder I thought he felt very different from ordinary people. Dam Dung snorted coldly, clenching his fists. How strong is he? We will find out once we fight him, will we not? But Quach Tam Di was more cautious. Her voice lowered. You should be careful too. I have a feeling this guy is not simple at all. Dam Dung turned around, a calculating glint in his eyes. If I defeat him, you can go take his points and you will surely become the new student leader, and if I lose, you can take my points to make up for it. He raised his hand and gave a decisive command. Death Mage, go and restrain him. The Death Mage raised its scepter and cast Water Prison. A circle of condensed water locked onto Lam Trak, but with a single soul force punch, he shattered the water ring, sending it splashing everywhere. Dam Dung was stunned, starting to doubt his life. How can his soul skill be so powerful? In the moment he was distracted, the rock golem suddenly closed in from the side. Dam Dung quickly cast a water force blast. A pillar of water shot towards the rock golem as he simultaneously jumped back to dodge in time. The rock golem was trapped inside a water sphere from the water prison technique. Dam Dung saw his attack succeed. He raised his fist, his voice triumphant, caught one. But Lam Trak, standing opposite him, remained calm, morph. Right after he spoke, the rock golem changed its state. Its body turned into a flow of magic power, easily escaping the water sphere. The rock golem then used Earth Spike, punching the ground hard. It created a violent tremor. The ground shook as sharp earth pillars rose up, aiming straight for the Death Mage. But surprisingly, Dam Dung's pet beast also shifted into its magic-type state. Its body became ethereal like a shadow. Dam Dung smirked slyly. My apologies, but my Death Mage is also a magic type. It is immune to all physical attacks. Haha. Quach Tam Di, watching from afar, suddenly shouted, Idiot, watch your back, but before the warning could finish, earth spikes shot up from the ground. They sent Dam Dung flying into the air, tearing his clothes to shreds. He turned back with a look of astonishment to find another rock golem in a magic state. Using Spirit Demon Clone, spiritual power spread out like a shockwave, Lam Trak coldly interjected. But you cannot avoid physical damage. Dam Dung's eyes widened in fury. He tried to keep his voice low to hide his anger. Damn it, use Death Seal. The Death Mage slammed its scepter into the ground. A strange magical energy erupted, spreading throughout the area. Both rock golems were enveloped in this energy. They could not move. Lamb Track observed with a thoughtful gaze. This guy is indeed tough to deal with. Rock Golem, let the Snow Maiden take over. He raised his hand and gave a decisive command. Return to your normal state. Otherwise, you will be controlled by the Death Mage. The rock golem immediately transformed. The magic circle dissipated, its main body returned to normal, and the clone behind Damn Dung vanished. He wiped the sweat from his forehead and laughed loudly. Ha ha ha! So this is all the legendary genius has. But Lamtrack's eyes were cold, shrouded in a dark force as he raised his hand forward. Shut up! Let me show you what my true power is. A terrifying pressure emanated from him, and the Snow Maiden's startling quash tam de sweat rolled down her cheeks. Her body froze and her voice trembled. No, we cannot handle him. If this continues, we will definitely be eliminated. The atmosphere around Quash Tamdi grew heavy. The situation had turned completely against them. She quickly stepped forward, raising her hand to stop him. Wait, perhaps we can still discuss this matter further. Lamtrack narrowed his eyes, his voice cold. Discuss, Quack. Tamdi quickly spoke up, her voice pleading. That is right. Actually, we are all already in the top 10 of the rankings. We don't need to fight anymore. From now on, we are all classmates. The Snow Maiden's hand, which was glowing brightly ready to attack, paused, and the icy aura gradually dissipated. Linze contemplated his sharp eyes, assessing the situation. Noticing his hesitation, Guo Xindi turned to Tan Dung and shouted, Wait, Tan Dung, release that girl now. But Tan Dung's face was distorted and pale with anger as he muttered, Release her. If I do that, they will team up, which would be even more disadvantageous than it is now. He frowned, his voice full of dissatisfaction with this tense situation. It is not a good idea to listen to you, Guo Xindi said in a firm and resolute voice. Just do as I say, though reluctant. Tan Dung raised his hand, sweat rolling down his forehead. All right, you are really serious about this. He ordered water prison technique, release the seal. Immediately the water sphere shattered, and Kuang Nin jumped down, escaping her confinement. Jiang Wen Yulong also released the demonic flame bird, letting it fly freely. Kuang Nin ran over with a radiant smile. Brother, thank you for coming to save me. Lindsay replied with a warm smile. Don't worry, I am here now. No one will be able to touch you again, but immediately after his face turned cold. His gaze, sharp as a knife, swept towards Guo Xindi and Tan Dung. He spoke in a cold voice. As for you two, I can still save my sister after I kill him. So you don't need to say things like, let's discuss, like you did before. What do you have that I need? Guo Xindi looked worried and quickly replied, I am sorry, but Tan Dung couldn't contain his anger, his eyes blazing red as he roared, You bastard. You damn bastard, I will beat you up. He turned to Guo Xin. Di Xiaodi, you go first. But Guo Xindi regained her composure, her eyes flashing with confidence. I have a big surprise for both of you. Lindsay frowned, his voice full of doubt. Huh, she continued in a firm voice. A special soul beast technique. I can use my perception to help you activate it. A special soul beast. Lindsay withdrew his attacking stance, his eyes briefly considering it a noteworthy reason, but Tan Dung roared, stopping her. Xiao Di, you don't need to help that kid. As soon as he finished, he paused as if realizing something and stuttered. What do you mean, could it be you? Guo Xindi smiled, clenching her fist as the light of a soul beast flashed. Just then, a voice rang out from a hidden corner. Sorry, count me in, the figure of Labang. Vaughn stepped out, a thoughtful smile on his lips. Lindsay turned back, his eyes twinkling with amusement. Oh, so you are not dead after all. His smile now had a mischievous glint, like someone who had everything under control. Under the dim light of the arena, Labang Van smirked, his cold eyes sweeping over the crowd. He spoke in an arrogant tone. You are all gathered here just in time. I can round you all up at once. As soon as he finished, the air seemed to thicken with his arrogance. Tan Dung, already provoked by Lindsay, now had Labang Van meddling, and the anger in his heart flared up like a fire. He gritted his teeth, his finger pointing straight at his opponents one by one. His eyes flashed with annoyance. As all sides tensed up for a battle, Guo Xindi quietly approached Tan Dung, her eyes sparkling with determination. She whispered softly, her voice full of confidence, We can join forces and take his first-place spot. But Tan Dung only responded with a dejected look. It was as if the whole world was against him. The situation became increasingly chaotic, like a storm about to sweep everything away. Outside, the ancient stele emitted a faint light. Announcing less than 10 minutes remaining, Teacher Tan Hak stood quietly observing from a distance, frowning slightly with a heavy decision on his mind. I want to keep all of these first-year students. He thought to himself, if they really rush into this fight, we will lose precious talents. His gaze swept over the group of people standing nearby. The figures were blurry in the dim light. He signaled, his voice low but firm. Now it is your turn. I am giving you 10 minutes to calm those kids down. In the arena, Tan Dong and Guo Xindi exchanged a few quick words. He frowned, his tone suspicious. Xiao Di, you really intend to help that kid, don't you? I have a way for the Shadow Mage to control him, then we can benefit from it. But Guo Xindi remained firm, her gaze unwavering. She replied, sorry, I really want to help him. Hearing this, Tan Dong clutched his head and screamed, a feeling of helplessness striking him like a bolt of lightning. He gritted his teeth, raised both fists, and slammed them into the ground, sending dust flying. My God, is that really Guo Xindi? Why is she so much like that kid? He roared, his voice full of indignation. Damn it, then I will kill him myself. On the other side, Labang Van and the poison vine beast were already in a ready stance. His aura flared as if wanting to devour his opponent. He smirked provocatively. Come on, everyone, come at me. But just then, a majestic voice rang out, cutting through all the tension. Stop. The sound was like a sharp blade, causing everyone to freeze. You all don't need to fight each other anymore. You have all been approved. As soon as the words were spoken, a giant exclamation mark flashed on the stele, leaving the group stunned and confused. Suddenly, a shimmering space portal appeared. A mystical light appeared, a foot stepped out, and then 4 unfamiliar figures gradually became clear. The majestic voice continued, because your abilities have surpassed all other students. Of your year, let us see where your limits lie. These 4 are second-year students from the Academy's middle rankings. They announced you will compete against them. If one of you wins, you can skip the challenge and advance, but if you lose, you will keep your current positions. Hearing this, Kwang Nin couldn't help but protest loudly. That's not fair. We are just first-year students right now. How can we possibly beat second-year students from the Academy? Besides, we have just been through several fights. Our pet beasts are already tired. But Labang Van, Guo Xindi, and Tan Dong showed no signs of hesitation. On the contrary, their eyes burned with determination. Tan Dong even raised his hand in a provocative gesture. Bring it on. And Kwang Nin turned to look at his brother, his eyes bewildered, not understanding why everything had changed so quickly. Labang Van, noticing the situation had changed, gave a faint wry smile. His voice carried a hint of regret, but was full of hidden meaning. What a pity. I was planning on eliminating you from the competition. But from now on, we can only be classmates. There will be plenty of opportunities to compete later on. Tan Dong stood proudly, his aura blazing like an unquenchable fire. He roared, his voice full of indignation. Damn it, first, let us get through this challenge. From these second-year students. Beside him, Guo Xindi turned slightly to Linze, a bright smile still on her lips, her eyes sparkling as she asked, tell me, we are considered allies now, right? Her cheeks flushed slightly, but Linze's coldness was like a bucket of cold water, suddenly making the atmosphere tense. Kwang Nin, standing nearby, saw his brother being drawn in by Guo Xindi. His face flushed with anger, he yelled, his voice echoing, you just promised me. Hearing his younger brother shout like that, Linze narrowed his eyes, his gaze sharp yet thoughtful. In his mind, thoughts swirled. This challenge is not just a chance to win, but the reward can also enhance my strength and mental stats. He glanced at the opponents, quickly analyzing. They only sent out 4 people while there are 5 of us. It seems they have underestimated us. After a moment of consideration, Linze looked straight at Guo Xindi, his voice calm but firm. If you want to be allies, then I need you and my sister to cooperate, to deal with one of them together. But immediately, both Guo Xindi and Kwang Nin raised their fists in unison, their eyes blazing as they looked at Linze. Kwang Nin spoke up. Her voice was resolute. But I want to fight with you, brother. Linze froze for a moment, as if petrified by his sister's stubbornness, then he gently placed his hand on Kwang Nin's head. His voice was gentle but firm. Kwang Nin, I will deal with one of them myself. If the 2 of you coordinate, you will have a higher chance of defeating one of them. Amidst the murmurs of the crowd, a second-year male student in sportswear stepped forward, pounded his chest, and narrowed his eyes provocatively. He spoke arrogantly. Have you freshmen finished your discussion yet? Who is going to fight me? Of course you can all rush me at once. His provocative words made Tan Dong's blood boil, veins popping on his forehead. He clenched his fists and roared, I will fight you. A thought flashed in his mind. It is time to prove my strength to Guo Shindi. The opponent he chose gave a faint smile and summoned his beast. A giant insect with sharp blades gleamed under the light. He sneered, "Good boy, you have got guts, but I hope that is not all you have." The insect next to him, a third-rank, 8th-stage, wind-slicing mantis, let out a terrifying screech ready to charge into battle. A second-year female student named Jiang Man walked up to Lebang Van, her eyes twinkling with amusement. She spoke in a slightly teasing tone. "Hey, handsome, I have had my eye on you. So come and be my opponent." Lebang Van's expression changed slightly. Seeing his opponent was a woman, he quickly covered half his face with his hand, his voice cold but unable to hide a hint of arrogance. "Heh. I won't go easy on you just because you are a woman." Without delay, Jiang Man summoned her pet beast. A blue lion appeared, lightning flashing from its body as it let out a thunderous roar. The third-stage, 9th-level wild thunder lion beast stood imposingly. Surprisingly, Truong Man's expression also changed, his sharp gaze no less intense than Lebang Van's. It was as if the two were sizing each other up before the battle even began. He smirked, his voice full of challenge. "All right then, let's see if you can even hurt me." Just then, from the opposite side, Quach Tam Dee's expression suddenly changed. Her eyes flashed with vigilance. With her keen intuition, she pointed straight ahead, her voice low but sharp. "Of the remaining two, that girl looks weaker." All three immediately turned to their opponent as if assessing every weakness. Suddenly, a guy with hair like a bird's nest cut in. Such an arrogant tone. "Hey, kid, do you want to compete with me? I'm not a fan of your hairstyle." He called himself Vo Duong Tien, his words full of provocation. Lam Trak replied with a bright yet mischievous smile. "All right. Kind senior, please go easy on me." And so the final matchup was decided, and the arena's atmosphere immediately grew more intense. A girl with turquoise hair approached Quan Nin and Quach Tam Dee, her eyes sparkling with jealousy. She spoke in a half-joking, half-serious tone. "The new girls this year are all very cute. But I hate girls who are cuter than me, so I won't show any mercy." Her words, sharp as a knife, made Quan Nin and Quach Tam Dee flinch, feeling the atmosphere suddenly grow heavy. The scene shifts to outside the arena where students eliminated from the competition were summoned. The air was heavy with regretful sighs. Truong Hu Van and Lu Tu Yen stood side by side, their faces grim. Lu Tu Yen said softly, her voice dejected, "Tu Van, we've really been eliminated." Truong Hu Van could only sigh, a forced smile appearing on her lips. "There are too many useless people. Without a miracle, we're bound to be eliminated." Cries of despair mingled with the discontent of the others. Lu Kuang was the first to yell out in frustration, "Damn it!" After playing dirty the entire test, he ended up causing his own failure. The one who had received his loving fist was no better off muttering in pain, "Why does it still hurt so much?" Looking at the resentful students, teacher Tan Hak stood at a distance with a strange smile on his lips. There were still a few who left an impression during this exam, he thought to himself. Just then a hand landed on Tan Hak's shoulder. He turned to see Cao Van Bach, who gave him a meaningful smile. "Please let me handle the next part." Cao Van Bach said, his voice full of confidence. Tan Hak was slightly surprised, his gaze searching. "Teacher Cao, are you in such a hurry to snatch students already?" "I went through a lot of trouble to select these new students this time, but your testing method is truly too extreme. You risk missing out on potential talents among them." Cao Van Bach just smiled lightly, raising a hand with confident, half-closed eyes. "It wouldn't be too much to ask for me to pick 10 more seeds from those who were eliminated, would it?" Tan Hak didn't object, merely waving his hand to draw the crowd's attention. Cao Van Bach stepped forward, his voice echoing with authority. "Ha-ha, in that case I'll take the liberty of arranging things. For those students who didn't make the top 10, I have good news. I still have 10 empty slots. If you can pass my test, you will be admitted to the academy." The moment he finished, the atmosphere exploded. Bright smiles appeared on everyone's faces. "What, really? That's amazing." Truong Hu Van and Lu Tu Yen couldn't hide their joy either. Lu Tu Yen whispered, her eyes sparkling. "It looks like a miracle really happened. This time we have to try harder to get into the top 20. Beside them, Lu Kuang clenched his fists tightly, veins bulging. His face was flushed with determination. "I must seize this opportunity," he thought to himself, his eyes burning with resolve. Back in the arena, Dam Dung knelt helplessly, watching in despair as Qin Dao's wind-slicing mantis created a terrifying vortex. He roared in frustration. "Damn it, this is a complete mismatch in levels." Qin Dao just sneered, pointing his index finger straight at him. "You've lost." Elsewhere, a blue light flashed repeatedly. Labang Van and his poison cutie were scorched black smoke rising from them. Truong Man brushed her hair back, her tone teasing yet cold. "Oh, my handsome boy, your endurance is truly impressive. But you've already lost. If we keep fighting, it will just be a one-sided slaughter." Labang Van, his face contorted just like his poison cuties, gritted his teeth without a word. Truong Man continued arrogantly. "Did you not hear what your big sister said?" The scene shifts to Hui Hui, the girl with green hair, advancing with her blazing red pet. Its aura was overwhelming. She roared, "Another supposed genius, how ridiculous. Let me tell you, the one thing this school isn't short on is geniuses." Quan Nin and Quach Tom D sat on the ground, exhausted, facing Hui Hui's growling third-stage 7th-level berserker. Hui Hui's face was still full of annoyance. Pointing a finger to the sky, she said, "You kids should spend more time cultivating instead of worrying about your clothes. Do you understand, junior sisters?" Outside in the observation area, Sao Van Bach stood with hands on his hips, looking at Tan Hack with a dissatisfied tone. "Hey, Teacher Tan, I don't agree with this test of yours. Crushing them one-sidedly like this. Won't that just destroy their future confidence?" Tan Hack calmly crossed his arms, a faint smile on his lips. "Teacher Sao, I just want to temper the spirits of these kids. Otherwise, they will become arrogant once they enter the academy. They need to know there is always someone better and things beyond their comprehension." Hearing this, Cao Van Bach laughed. "Ha ha!" Just then, a giant iceberg appeared. Tan Hack looked towards it and added quietly, "It seems some students still don't believe in this trick of mine." In the arena, a spirited warhorse was frozen in the blink of an eye. The third-stage, 9th-level flame warhorse now stood motionless like a glistening ice statue. Vo Duong Tian's eyes widened, his red gaze filled with disbelief. "How is this possible?" he mumbled, his expression turning to sheer amazement. A perfect work of ice art appeared glistening in the dim light. Lam Trak crossed his arms, his eyes sharp but unable to hide a smiling tone. "Senior, thank you." He looked at Tiu Tuyet Nu, who had just frozen the opponent, with terrifying calmness. The scene shifts to the observation area just as the test time concludes. Teacher Tan Hack burst out laughing, his voice echoing with excitement. "Ha ha ha! I've really struck gold this time. We actually got to witness so many geniuses this time. It's like I'm seeing the 8 great beastmasters of the Federation in their youth. First years who can defeat second years." He slapped Cao Van Bach hard on the shoulder. "Truly interesting," he continued. Startled by the slap, Cao Van Bach collected himself. A bright smile appeared as he nodded, his voice full of excitement. "Even at their age, the 8 great masters of the Federation might not have possessed such terrifying power. His name is Lam Trak, isn't it? When the time comes, we have to assign him to our class." Hearing his overly excited colleague, Teacher Tan Hack crossed his arms, his voice deepening to correct him. "Teacher Cao, you don't need to be so strict with admissions either. The top 10 students must follow the class assignment rules." Cao Van Bach looked embarrassed, scratching his head with a weak laugh. "Ha ha!" In the arena, the system suddenly made an announcement. A cold voice announced, "System reminder, you have defeated the Flame Warhorse." Hearing this, Vo Duong Tian slowly knelt, his eyes lifeless and his body completely drained of strength. His voice trembled as he stammered, "I lost!" Quan Nin jumped up, pumping her fist in excitement, her voice echoing, "Big brother, we really won. This is amazing." Beside them, Quach Tam Di stood as still as a statue, her eyes wide with shock. "I never thought he was that strong," she thought, filled with admiration and disbelief. Meanwhile, Dam Dung furiously punched the ground, raising dust. He muttered bitterly, "There's still a gap. There's still a gap." He gritted his teeth, his eyes burning with resolve. "When I return, I'll turn this pain into motivation. Just wait." Just then, Qin Dao approached from a distance. His eyes were filled with suspicion and displeasure. He spoke in a probing tone, "Don't tell me Vo Duong Tian let him win on purpose. How could a first year who hasn't even enrolled beat a second year? I don't believe it." Hearing the provocation, Lam Trak calmly put his hands in his pockets. His voice was light but full of challenge. "Seniors, do you wish to continue?" His words added fuel to the fire, making Qin Dao's blood boil. He roared, his face flushed red. "You rotten kid, don't think you can disrespect us just because you beat him with a few tricks." His face darkened, his tone shifting to a cold challenge. "Oh, so all 3 of you want to attack together?" The moment he spoke, Qin Dao's wind-slicing mantis shot forward with its sharp claws, its immense aura aimed right at Lam Trak. But surprisingly, Lam Trak, looking completely unfazed, simply leaned aside. Catching the two sharp pincers with his bare hands made the entire arena fall silent for a moment. Outside the observation area, teacher Sao von Bach seemed to have already predicted the outcome. He gently shook his head, turned to teacher Tanhak, and said, all right, stop now. Qin Dao is no match for him. If this continues, the second-year student will lose face. We can't let Lin Zi, who just arrived, make enemies like this. Tanhak nodded in agreement, that's right. Immediately, he announced in a solemn voice that echoed throughout the arena, all right, students, everyone stop, this test is over. Hearing this, Qin Dao turned and yelled in frustration, Teacher Tan, while the teacher continued, the only one who passed this test is Lin Zi. But the rest of the students performed very well. I believe that after you enter Jiangning Academy, your strength will improve by leaps and bounds. Unable to do anything else, he waved his hand to recall the wind-slaying mantis. Then he pointed directly at Lin Zi, his voice full of resentment. Damn it, kid, after school starts, we will have a match. Lin Zi flashed a bright smile and gave a confident thumbs up, saying teasingly, Senior, you don't have to be so competitive, you're still the best. His words were like a sharp knife. Piercing straight into Qin Dao's pride, his eyes widened, veins popping as he roared in fury, just you wait, you stinky brat, I'll remember you. As he finished speaking, the five figures faded away, vanishing into thin air like smoke, leaving Lin Zi standing alone with Little Snow Girl and the Rock Demon. Suddenly, a brilliant stream of pink energy enveloped him. Lin Zi looked down at his hands, his eyes flashing with surprise as the system's cold notification rang out. Calculating mission rewards physique increased from 8.8 to 10.8. Soul power increased to 1080 physique level from 5 to 9. Congratulations, Lin Zi, you have successfully entered Jiangning Academy. He clenched his fists, energy erupting more powerfully than ever. The system continued. New purification complete, received 500 accumulated points. Total accumulated points remaining 1180. The Rock Demon's information panel flashed. Growth rate increased by 33%. Little Snow Girl was not far behind. Her information panel showed a growth rate increase of 12%, but right after that, both pet beasts were suddenly unsummoned. Students gathered around and a lively discussion broke out. Who is he anyway? He's so strong. Isn't he the first one to pass the super hard test? He's finally back. Lin Zi stood in the center of attention, his eyes showing a hint of bewilderment. Guan Ning called out excitedly from a distance, hey, this situation isn't much different from last time. It's still the same debate. Lin Zi's lips curled slightly, his finger unconsciously pointing to himself with a dazed look but unable to hide a hint of pride. Every time I wake up, the atmosphere is strangely familiar, he thought to himself. Just then, Guo Xindi gently tugged his sleeve, leaning in and whispering suggestively, Lin Zi, I can sense that your rock demon has another form. It needs to be unlocked. Lin Zi turned to her, his eyes showing surprise, really. Guo Xindi narrowed her eyes, held up two fingers, and said with a mysterious smile, it also includes how to activate its exclusive soul skill. If you want to know more, come find me after this exam. The meaningful words made Lin Zi freeze, his mind caught in a new vortex. Suddenly, Teacher Tanhak's voice boomed like thunder, cutting through all the commotion. He raised a finger and announced solemnly, order, the top 10 students will be directly admitted to the academy. Then his finger turned 90 degrees, pointing directly at a figure in the crowd. I would like to announce that the candidate with the highest score in this competition is student Lebang Van. Everyone please applaud. Heartfelt applause rang out, but mixed in were looks of doubt. A few students whispered suspiciously, that's not right. Why is it him? Hearing this, Lebang Van's face darkened, his eyes flashing with anger. Damn it, he thought that guy was clearly showing off to prove he's stronger than me. How humiliating. His arrogant demeanor was now mixed with bitterness. Teacher Cao Van Bach, standing next to Tanhak, frowned slightly, approached, and whispered this time. Clearly that boy Lin Zi is qualified to be the leader of the new students. Isn't this a bit unfair? Teacher Tanhak nodded slightly, his voice calm but meaningful. We can't bet everything on one person. Besides, the rules before the challenge clearly stated that the first place among new students is decided by the principal. Cao Van Bach nodded in understanding, then stepped forward and announced, students participating in the supplementary challenge, please follow me. The top 10 students may leave now, 10 days later. Everyone will receive their admission notice before leaving. Guan Ning walked over to Zhang Xiaoyun and Liu Xian, comforting them gently. It's okay. I believe you can pass this supplementary challenge. Just do your best. Just then, Zhu Xiong approached from a distance, his eyes sparkling, to talk to Lin Zi, big brother Lin Zi. Recognizing him, Lindsay turned back with a slight smile. "Oh, it's you." Zhu Xiong scratched his head with an embarrassed smile. "I didn't expect you to be Lindsay. It seems I haven't been slacking off enough. But seeing you fight that second-year student just now was really cool." Lindsay narrowed his eyes, his voice probing. "Oh, so what do you want?" Zhu Xiong burst out laughing, clasping his hands enthusiastically. "Big brother, can you take me as your little brother?" Lindsay was momentarily stunned, as if exclamation and question marks appeared above his head. Zhu Xiong continued gesturing enthusiastically. "My admiration for you, big brother, is like an endless flood." But Lindsay replied coldly, "Sorry, I don't take on little brothers." He raised a finger, his tone joking but sharp. "Besides, you haven't even qualified for admission yet, right?" Zhu Xiong was momentarily stunned, his expression tense. Then he dashed off, his voice full of determination. "I will definitely pass that test. Big brother, wait for me." In another corner, Lebangvan stood silently, his eyes flashing with calculation. The scene shifts to the bustling streets outside, where an excited voice rang out, "This is great. To celebrate passing the entrance exam and officially becoming new students of Jiangning University, let's not rush back today. How about we spend a day in this city?" It was Lindsay and Guanning. Lindsay shrugged his shoulders and said relaxedly, "Ah, yeah, all right. 4 hours was really tiring. I need to relax." Guanning blushed, her eyes sparkling. "Then let's go back tomorrow. Tonight, we'll stay in this city for one night." Hearing Guanning say that, Lindsay couldn't refuse. He smiled slightly and nodded, Okay." Seeing him agree, Guanning was overjoyed. Her cheeks flushed red and she looked down shyly, not daring to look up. Suddenly, Lindsay was startled as he remembered something. With an anxious look, he quickly exclaimed, "Wait a minute." He glanced at his phone and realized his wallet was empty. Oh, damn it, sweat poured down him. Last time he had bought upgrade materials for the tamed rock monster. He had spent all his money with only 300 left. Seeing Lindsay frozen, Guanning called out, "What's wrong, big brother? Let's go get something to eat first." Although he was groaning inwardly, Lindsay didn't want to disappoint her. He nodded reluctantly, and they walked to a special grade restaurant where peat beasts were allowed to dine as well. Inside, Lindsay sat down with a bewildered expression, not understanding what was happening. Around them, diners were bustling, eating with their pet beasts in an unusually lively scene. Lindsay thought to himself, so a place like this actually exists. Guanning beamed with a bright smile. "I've been looking forward to coming to this restaurant for a long time. Brother, let's summon our pet beast too. They've been fighting for us for so long. We have to treat them to a good meal." Pained by his empty wallet, Lindsay couldn't bring himself to refuse and just nodded in agreement. They both summoned their pet beasts, pulling up chairs around the table, ready to order. But when her eyes landed on the snow girl, Guanning couldn't help but ask curiously, "Brother, the last time I saw her, she was still a little girl, and now she's evolved so quickly, huh? Plus, she's so beautiful. How did you do it?" Lindsay replied gently, "Maybe it's because the contract level between me and my pet beast is quite high." He thought to himself, the story about the system is long. I'll tell Guanning when I get the chance. But just then, before he could say more, Guanning quickly grabbed the menu and exclaimed, "Big brother, you're so amazing, you have to teach me tonight. But for now, let's order first." Hearing that, Lindsay also picked up the menu and flipped through it. Oh, what a long list of dishes. Stewed lamb leg, 6007 star grilled lung, 18000 beast pan fry, 6000 red dragon ox, 4000. Reading the prices, Lindsay felt his heart stop. His face darkened and he gulped. There are so many zeros. While he was panicking, the rock demon next to him had already excitedly put on an apron. It held a knife and fork, ready to dive into the meal. Beside it, the snow girl was playing carefree, gently stroking the demon flame bird's head. A restaurant waiter approached with a bright smile. "Excuse me, would you all like to order anything else?" Guanning quickly pointed at the menu. This one, this one and this one too." Just 5 minutes later, the table was filled with delicious food, exquisitely arranged as expected of a high-class restaurant. Looking at the luxurious and expensive dishes, the pet beasts all exclaimed in amazement. Only Lindsay sat there, his face frozen like a statue. "Oh, I'm so dead." In a flash, the extravagant feast was over. The dining table was wiped clean, not a crumb left. The rock fiend clutched its belly round as a ball, sighing contentedly. A few steps away, Lamtrak stood frozen, his mouth hanging open. His mind raced, wondering what to do. Should he make a run for it? Just then, a waiter came over with a long bill and said, "Sir, your total is 38,000. How would you like to pay?" Seeing his predicament, Guanning thoughtfully stepped in and said, "Let me get this. I've saved up a good amount of pocket money. Although embarrassed, Lamb Track was relieved he wouldn't have to dine and dash. He smiled, thinking to himself that he was saved. After paying, the two left the restaurant and took a leisurely stroll. Kuan Nin's eyes lit up as she exclaimed, "The big city is so beautiful at night." Her face glowed with excitement for a bright future. She continued, "I can study with you in the city later on. I'm so excited just thinking about it." Walking behind her, Lamb Track was lost in thought. "I have to make money quickly. It's too late to accept a mission now." Just then, a loud voice echoed from a nearby building. "Ha ha, what a great hit." It turned out to be a fighting arena where a heated pet beast battle was underway. Inside, a muscular pet beast with a six-pack stood imposingly, its opponent completely knocked out on the floor. The crowd roared wildly, shouting, "That was so cool." The muscular beast was the four-armed monster, a freak-type Stage 3 Level 2. The MC boomed, "Is there another challenger? Defeat the four-armed monster and you'll win all the money in the prize pool. Just pay a 300 entry fee to earn the right to challenge. The winner will receive a prize of 50,000 from the prize fund." Hearing this clearly, Lamb Track smirked, thinking, "Here's my chance to make some money." Without hesitation, he'd summoned his pet beast. The rock fiend appeared majestically. He looked at it and asked, "You feeling confident?" The MC's voice continued, "Our rules strictly prohibit the use of any soul techniques or magic. This is pure hand-to-hand combat to give the audience the thrill of a true brawl. Of course, you must sign a life-and-death waiver before entering the ring. If your pet beast accidentally kills or is killed by the opponent's beast during the match, neither party will bear any responsibility." After hearing that, Lamb Track turned to Kuan Nin and asked, "Do you want to watch?" Her eyes widened in surprise. "You're not actually thinking of competing, are you?" He smiled, his eyes twinkling with confidence. "If they're just giving money away, then I'd be rude not to take it." Through his system, he knew the four-armed monster was only at Stage 3 Level 1, while his rock fiend was at Stage 2 Level 9. To be safe, he decided to upgrade it first. He immediately reached his hand toward the rock fiend and activated its upgrade. A powerful aura enveloped it, its might exploding. The system announced Rock Fiend has reached Stage 3 Level 3. Consumed 780 achievement points, 400 remaining. Lamb Track thought to himself, the higher the level, the more points it costs to upgrade. Kuan Nin's eyes widened in amazement. It already leveled up. "How did you do that?" Lamb Track dodged the question. Maybe it ate something really tasty. Seeing him step into the ring, Kuan Nin cheered with excitement. "I know you can beat it." The MC saw Lamb Track and immediately hyped up the crowd. "A new challenger has appeared. Let's give it up for his courage. The guy looks pretty scrawny, and next to him is some red-haired rock monster I've never seen. Why would he dare enter the death arena?" The crowd jeered contemptuously. "Haha, is this kid drunk? Some kid who doesn't know his own strength." They pointed at the rock fiend, mocking, "This redhead doesn't look like much either, haha." Hearing this, the rock fiend fumed but held back with a cold snort. The four-armed monster, twice the size of the rock fiend, gave a grotesque smile. Its owner, Hung Kot, stepped before Lamb Track, looked down, and sneered, "Listen, kid. If my four-armed monster accidentally smashes this tiny creature of yours, don't you dare start crying." Facing the taunt, Lamb Track smiled calmly and said, "Please don't hold back." Hung Kot's interest grew as he sneered, "What a cocky little brat who doesn't know his place." Before the fight, they both had to sign the life-and-death waiver. The MC eagerly yelled, "Come on, sign it right here." "The waivers are signed," he boomed. "Let the match begin." The moment he finished, Hung Kot ordered four-armed monster, "Show him what you're made of." But as the four-armed monster charged, the rock fiend vanished from its spot like a ghost. Lamb Track felt relieved. At least in terms of speed, the rock fiend had the advantage. After retreating, the rock fiend saw an opening and aimed a vicious kick, but before it landed, the four-armed monster caught its leg. The rock fiend swung another fist, but that too was blocked. Now both its arm and leg were trapped in the four-armed monster's grip, completely immobilized. With a powerful heave, the four-armed monster threw the rock fiend, which crashed into the floor, leaving a huge dent. It lay there motionless. Lamb Track was stunned. The audience gasped. Such incredible strength! Hung Kot smiled smugly, clenched his fist, and boasted, "My four-armed monster isn't even using any skills. But with its raw power alone, it can take down beasts far above its level." Lamb Track nodded to himself. The rules here are a huge advantage for the four-armed monster. No wonder they were so confident. The four-armed monster pressed its attack, grinning menacingly. Seeing a blow coming, the rock fiend tried to dodge, but one of the monster's arms shot out and grabbed its leg. After yanking it back, the four-armed monster delivered a devastating punch. The blow was too fast to react to slamming the rock fiend's head into the floor as it collapsed. Seeing his opponent down, Hung Kot sneered. "Is that all you've got?" The crowd roared with laughter. "Ha ha, what a perfect punch," Quan Nin cried out in worry. Lam Trak stood deep in thought. If it could use its skills, the rock fiend's phantom form could easily toy with this behemoth. But the rules only allow pure strength, and in that the rock fiend is outmatched. The four-armed monster's four limbs are like perfect living weapons. But the last time it unlocked a new form was when it was in mortal danger. If what Quash Tam Di said was true, this was a gamble worth taking. Either it unlocks a new form or it gets crushed. A glimmer of hope flashed in Lam Trak's eyes. He looked at his beast and yelled, "Rock Fiend, show me what you've really got." He continued to shout, "Don't tell me. You have to rely on the Snow Maiden to win every time." Just then, the four-armed monster raised its giant foot to crush the Rock Fiend, but before it could stomp down, the Rock Fiend's eyes glowed bright red. Its body stirred as it slowly rose. In a flash, it sprang up and landed a powerful punch right in the four-armed monster's torso, catching it off guard. After the punch, the rocky armor on its hands shattered, revealing flesh and bone beneath. It had entered a completely new state. The system announced Demon General form unlocked. Duration 60 seconds. Speed increased by 300%, defense decreased by 100%. Lam Trak was stunned. He never expected that the Rock Fiend's stone armor could be shed. Now transformed, the Rock Fiend was faster and tougher, and it shot forward. Seeing it prepare for another attack, Hung Kot laughed mockingly. "Hi, you haven't learned your lesson." But contrary to his expectations, the four-armed monster couldn't catch it. In a flash, the Rock Fiend disappeared. Hung Kot panicked. What's going on?" As the four-armed monster looked around confused, the Rock Fiend appeared behind it with a powerful kick. The monster spun and swung to counterattack but missed. Before it could recover, it was hit again from behind. The Rock Fiend was now exhilarated, enjoying the fight as it unleashed a barrage of punches. The four-armed monster couldn't even defend itself. With only 10 seconds of the form left, Lam Trak yelled, "Rock Fiend, stop playing around and finish it." Hearing the command, the Rock Fiend's playful attitude vanished. It focused its power into a final move, lightning impact. The attack exploded through the four-armed monster's body. In the blink of an eye, it collapsed to the floor. A system notification appeared. Rock Fiend has advanced to Stage 3, Level 4. Skill unlocked lightning impact, usable only in Demon General form. Demon General form has ended. Hung Kot was stunned, his eyes wide with disbelief. He stammered, "This can't be happening!" The crowd in the arena started whispering in amazement. "What just happened?" The four-armed monster actually lost. That's terrifying. After a moment, the MC went to check on the beast and then announced, "I declare the winner is..." But the name he announced left Lam Trak completely stunned. The four-armed monster. Lam Trak gasped. "Huh!" The audience erupted. But the four-armed monster clearly lost. How is that possible? This is ridiculous. That kid broke the rules and used a skill. The MC calmly explained that because the player's pet beast used a magical skill, it was disqualified according to the rules. Hearing this, the audience recalled the last moment. The rock demon's form did change, but it just shed its armor. How is that against the rules? This is so unfair, they murmured as Xionggu was declared the winner. He breathed a sigh of relief and smirked. "Kid, you think you can easily get the money with just a few tricks?" Before Xionggu could finish, Lindsay interrupted in a firm voice. "I have a new proposal. I accept that I lost the pet beast battle. Now let's the two of us have a one-on-one duel." Xionggu was stunned. Then he broke into an amused smile, the corner of his mouth twitching up. "You mean you want to challenge me?" The MC immediately hyped up the crowd. "I can't believe this player actually wants to challenge him in person. This is the professional freestyle wrestling champion Xionggu, ladies and gentlemen." The crowd erupted in cheers. Fight, fight. "We want to watch. We want to see a bloodbath." Lindsay calmly replied, "This is more interesting than a battle between pet beasts." Seeing this, the rock demon stood in a corner, sulking with its head down. Seeing this, he comforted it. "You've already lost. This time, just watch me." Hearing his meaningful words, the rock demon looked up, its eyes wide as it stared at him. While no one was watching, the MC gave a subtle nod to Xionggu. Then he announced excitedly, "Excellent. You're the first person in history to dare challenge Xionggu. I admire your death wish. Now, if you can defeat Xionggu, then you can still take home the prize." The crowd roared, "Xionggu, teach him a lesson. Let a river of blood flow." Seeing Guan Ning's worry, Lin Ze gave her a reassuring nod. The match finally began. The muscular Xionggu stood proudly and roared, "Come on, kid. Let's have a good fight." At the same time on the main street, a voice rang out, "Hey, Xin Yi, have you really fallen for that kid?" Jin Yi replied as she walked away. "So what if I have? Haven't I already told you that? I only see you as a brother." Hearing this, Dan Yong grew furious. "In what way am I not as good as that brat? Besides, you don't even know him, do you? I don't want you to get hurt." She cut him off firmly. "That's enough. All right, I'll handle my own business. You should go back and get some rest." Faced with her coldness, Dan Yong stood there helplessly, softly calling Xin Yi. As he walked away, he growled, "Damn it, Lindsay, I will definitely surpass you. You just wait." As Dan Yong was walking, he suddenly heard a cry for help. Help! In a small alley, a girl was restrained by a monster. Her voice was weak. "Someone please save me." On the ground, her pet beast, a Tier 1 Stage 2 blazing firehound of the fire element, lay motionless. Without hesitation, Dan Yong rushed forward, kicking the monster aside. "Get lost!" Caught by surprise, the monster tumbled over. Dan Yong took the chance to help the girl up, asking, "Are you okay? Where did that ferocious beast come from?" Before she could answer, a figure leaped down from a rooftop, saying, "There are no such things as ferocious beasts in this world." Startled, Dan Yong looked up and growled, "Who are you? Is this ferocious beast your pet?" The mysterious cloaked person replied, "Ferocious beast." He smirked. "So-called ferocious beasts are evil, while pet beasts used by others are good. Is that it? Who gets to define that anyway?" Although Dan Yong didn't understand him, he interrupted. "What's your point?" The man replied, "You don't know. A pet beast's lifespan is much longer than a human's. However, because of their loyalty, some pet beasts will no longer serve another person after their master passes away. They live long, lonely lives with no one to care for them, even being treated as ferocious beasts." Not wanting to hear more, Dan Yong summoned his necromancer and yelled, "Nonsense. If you use it to harm people, then I, Dan Yong, will never allow it," the man asked. "So you're Dan Yong?" Dan Yong was surprised. "How do you know my name?" "Then why don't you surrender right now? I'll take you to the Beast Tamer Association to be punished." At his words, the ferocious beast growled, ready to attack, but the cloaked man stopped it. "Stand back for now." As he finished speaking, he touched the forehead of the blazing firehound on the ground. The hound began a bizarre evolution, its body twisting and contorting in agony. Its limbs flailed and its eyes bulged, turning blood red. Its body swelled to several times its original size. Witnessing this, Dan Yong exclaimed, "What is happening?" The cloaked man said, "I was actually planning on finding you, but since you've come to me, let's see if you're of any use." Hearing the commotion from the arena, Xin Yi decided to go inside. The crowd was roaring. "Teach that brat a lesson, Xionggu. Show him who's boss." Seeing the scene clearly, Xin Yi's eyes widened in shock. Lin Zi was in the ring. She rushed in, shouting, "Go Linze!" Hearing her, Guan Ning, who was nearby, was surprised. The two exchanged a stunned glance. In the ring, Xionggu confidently flexed his muscles. The first freestyle fighting champion of Shanghai City with 3,243 victories, the heavy artillery Lei Long of Qinping City and three-time consecutive freestyle martial arts champion of Jiangning, I am Xionggu, the man of a million muscles. Lin Zi thought to himself, an average person's physical strength is 24. But this guy's is definitely between 40 and 80. Seeing him stand still, Xionggu gloated. Normal people tremble just hearing my name. But I can't even intimidate this brat. Ha 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 ha, he pointed right at him. Hey kid, so no one can say I'm a bully, I'll let you have the first punch. Come on, hit me. The MC added, he's giving you the first move, so go ahead. But be careful not to break your own bones. Xionggu laughed loudly, roaring, everyone watch this. Not making him wait, Lin Zi stepped forward and said calmly, then I won't hold back. Contrary to all expectations, his single punch sent Xionggu's face twisting. Blood splattered everywhere. The punch was so strong that Xionggu's massive body flew backward, tearing through a banner in the stands. The panicked audience scrambled to get away. Xionggu was knocked out cold. The stunned MC exclaimed, oh wait, what just happened? Was Xionggu really defeated with a single punch? Jin Yi and Guan Ning clapped with joy. But then they both froze, staring at each other. Their attitudes changed completely, refusing to even look at one another. Suddenly, the sneaky MC interjected, wait. I hadn't given the signal to start, which means Lin Zi attacked first. He broke the rules, so the winner is... Before he could finish, Lin Zi stepped forward and quietly uttered, Oh, the terrified MC quickly corrected himself. Ah, my apologies, I misspoke. This young hero did not violate any rules. Therefore, the winner is Lin Ping. His phone chimed with a notification. You have received 50,000. He thought to himself, now I have enough for a hotel room. Seeing Lin Zi walk out, Guan Ning and Xin Yi both waved. He asked in surprise, "What's wrong with you two?" Xin Yi stepped forward, lightly touched his shoulder, and said, "You did great." "I can't believe you actually beat him," Guan Ning cut in. "We're not that close to you, you know?" Xin Yi explained. "Don't forget we were on the same team once, so that makes us teammates, right?" "I'm Guo Xin Yi," she continued gently. "Besides, we'll be classmates in the future, so allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Guo Xin Yi. Please take care of me." Hearing this, Guan Ning pouted with obvious displeasure. Lin Zi turned to Xin Yi and asked, "What are you doing here?" She replied, "To help you activate your specialized soul power, of course." Guan Ning asked blankly, "Specialized soul power?" Xin Yi explained, "That's right. If you consider me a friend, I can help. Let's the three of us find a quiet place to talk." A little later at a large hotel nearby. In the room with only one bed, Guan Ning and Xin Yi sat staring at each other blankly. "Why are we all in one room?" Impatient Lin Zi stepped forward. "Let's begin." Xin Yi quickly replied, "My specialized soul power is called perception. Since I was 7, I've been able to sense things that normal people can't, like breathing. Location, or even what's about to happen in the future." Guan Ning marveled. "Wow, a power like that really exists. That's amazing." Linza asked, "So how will you help us?" Xin Yi turned to him. "Close your eyes." Without hesitation, Lin Zi closed his eyes. Xin Yi also closed her eyes, leaned in close to him, and activated her perception. Guan Ning snorted in annoyance, but Xin Yi stopped her. "This is the only way I can sense his ability to help him find the right path of cultivation." Guan Ning nodded reluctantly. "All right, I'll trust you this time." Chaotic thoughts flooded Xin Yi's mind, and her heart raced. "No, I must focus," she told herself. After a moment, a faint image of a person standing appeared. Its body was encased in rock, but no matter how hard she looked, she couldn't make out its face. A sharp pain shot through Xin Yi's head, forcing her to stop. She exclaimed, "I saw a very strange pet beast." It wasn't a rock demon or a snow maiden. It was more like a fusion of the two. Lin Zi asked in surprise. A fusion. Xin Yi nodded. "Yes. Right now my health isn't good enough, so I can only sense vague information." Then she turned to Quan Nin. "It's your turn next." Quan Nin was startled. Do we really have to touch foreheads to do this?" Tam Dai affirmed. "Of course, the hidden potential within a person can only be sensed this way." "My dear sister." After saying that, she closed her eyes and began to sense. Suddenly, Tam Dai's eyes flew open. Her body seemed to sink into a blazing red space as a pair of cold, sharp eyes glanced at her. Tam Dai snapped back to reality with a horrified look. Quan An asked worriedly, "What's wrong? What did you see?" Tam Dai shook her head. "No, it's nothing, just some dark shadows. Perhaps her potential hasn't been revealed yet, or she needs more training for me to sense it more clearly." Even so, Tam Dai had a bad feeling about what she had just seen. She thought to herself, whatever it was, it's best not to say it. Then she exclaimed, "We still have to work hard. For now, I shouldn't tell her." She glanced at the clock. It was 11:29 p.m. Tam Dai sighed. "Oh my, why is it so late? A girl like me has nowhere to go at this hour. What if I run into bad people outside?" She looked at Lam Trak and Quan Nin. "You guys are definitely going to make me stay tonight, right?" Before the flustered Lam Trak could answer, Tam Dai grabbed both their hands and smiled. "Thank you both for keeping me here." That night, Lam Trak lay between Quan Nin and Tam Dai, tossing and turning, unable to sleep. Quan Nin wasn't asleep either, while Tam Dai secretly watched him. Lam Trak closed his eyes, thinking to himself, "I have to make the Rock Fiend and Snow Maiden get along to activate their specialized soul power." Scene change 10 days after the new student orientation. A bustling crowd gathered at the school for class assignments. Everyone was excited. "Let me see too. Admissions for all rounds." Lam Trak looked up intently, searching for his name on the board. Lam Trak's name shone brightly on the very first line. Quan Nin cheered joyfully. "That's great, brother. We're in the same class again." Lam Trak beamed. "Ha ha, that's really great." Tam Dai chimed in with an excited voice. "I have some good news for you, too. I'm in the same class as you guys, too." Hearing that, Quan Nin's smile faded. Just then, Damdung appeared, his face covered in scars, walking heavily. Tam Dai was startled and exclaimed, "Damdung, how did you end up like this? Did you get into another fight with someone again?" He sighed wearily. "I ran into a bunch of vicious people. His face fell. Class 2, huh? That's all for today. Another resentful voice spoke up. Good thing I'm not in the same class as that bastard otherwise. I might not be able to resist finding a chance to kill him. Damn Dung growled. You're not wrong, I want to make a move now, too. Quan Nin walked over to encourage the other friends. That's wonderful. You guys also made it through successfully. They smiled and replied, We were assigned to Class 4, but only Class 1 and Class 2 are the advanced classes with much better treatment. Even so, thanks to our efforts, we've barely reached our goal. Tu Yen smiled brightly. Of course, we still have to thank Quan Nin for training us. Scene change. In the classroom, the teacher stood in front of the class, his voice clear and resonant. I'm sure everyone has seen me before. From today on, I will be the homeroom teacher for Class 1 and will guide your cultivation for the next 3 years. Our subjects are very diverse. You can choose whether to participate or not. But my requirement is whether you attend class or not. You must absolutely not stop cultivating. Yes, sir. He paused to emphasize further. After each term, there will be an assessment. Those who fail will be transferred to a regular class. Oh, that's right. The top 3 students in each assessment will receive a scholarship of about 100,000. Quan Nin thought to himself, Jiangnin Academy truly lives up to its reputation, such a high scholarship. Winning it just twice is enough to buy a high-level pet beast, the teacher continued. In addition, the school has many clubs' entertainment programs and cultivation activities that you can explore on your own after school. But I want to emphasize one activity that I hope everyone will participate in: simulated combat. There is a dedicated simulated combat building behind the main teaching building that can accommodate thousands of students at once. He explained further. You can accumulate practical experience through simulated battles to help level up yourselves and your pet beasts, because this is a comprehensive virtual network space. Opponents are not just students from the academy, but also beastmasters from the entire federation. The beastmaster ranking not only brings great rewards, but also determines your rank bronze. Silver, gold. These are the most important conditions for a beastmaster. While the teacher was lecturing, Lamb Track was lost in thought. I must quickly level up the rock fiend to match the snow maiden as soon as possible. In another space, Lamb Track shouted, Fuse. The system coldly replied, fusion failed. Levels do not match. The bell signaling the end of class rang and everyone rushed out. Lamb Track was no exception, but he was burning with impatience, thinking he had to get to the combat zone quickly. To the simulation to level up. No sooner said than done, he hurried over there. Along the way, various clubs were clamoring to recruit new members. Seeing Lamb Track a promising candidate, they swarmed him with invitations. One person enthusiastically asked student Lamb Track, Are you interested in joining the Winter Society? We are the most prestigious club for ice-type pet beasts. Come join us. Another person cut in, Student Lamb Track. We are the Bedrock Club for rock-type beasts. Everyone can train and grow together. The crowd pressed in tighter, join us. We are the Ghost Spirit Club. Don't look down on the Ghost Spirit type. We have many beauties here, and we also have an operating budget. Lamb Track quickly waved his hand, seniors. I'm really sorry, but I don't have any plans to join a club for now. Just as his star was shining brightly, another group appeared, capturing everyone's attention. Someone shouted, The people from the High Mountain Club are here. They're so tall. A girl from the Ghost Spirit Club explained, To be honest, this is one of the top 5 clubs at Jiangnin Academy. Every member is an elite. The second-year student who leads High Mountain entered the academy with a top 3 score. The group of tall people slowly approached Lamb Track. Big Brother Lahan, the leader, asked coldly, Are you Lamb Track? A guy behind him answered for him, That's right, Big Brother, that's him. Standing behind Tam Dai thought to herself, Looks like there's trouble. I didn't expect that Xing Dao from last time was a member of the High Mountain Society. Lamb Track, calm and fearless, smiled. Yes, I'm Lamb Track, what's the matter? Lahan replied in a cold voice. I'll give you a chance to join the High Mountain Society. The old debt will be wiped clean. You should know the High Mountain Society doesn't just recruit anyone. His companion chimed in, Know what's good for you. Don't be given an opportunity and not know how to take it. But Lamb Track was unfazed and politely refused. Thank you for your kind offer, but I'm sorry I don't want to join any society for now. He reasoned to himself that joining a club now would only be a hassle and wouldn't help him level up, even if it's the High Mountain Society. Hearing this, Lahan became angry. What he dares to refuse the High Mountain Society? It's such a good opportunity. The guy next to him added fuel to the fire. Kid, don't be ungrateful. If you don't join today, you'll be an enemy of the High Mountain Society. Lamb Track paid him no mind, pulling Quan Nin away and saying, It's fine. That action made Lahan's blood boil, his sharp, cold gaze fixed on him. Tam D looked at Lam Trak and praised him inwardly. No wonder he's the man I have my eye on. Quan Nin asked timidly. Brother won't doing this. Cause trouble, Lam Trak reassured her. Joining these societies is just more trouble. If they're really capable, let them use their strength to make me change my mind. Scene change, simulated combat zone. Everyone was training diligently. Quan Nin exclaimed, Wow, brother, this place is so crowded. Lam Trak replied, Yeah, let's get started quickly, too. Following his words, Quan Nin sat down at a training console, determined to catch up with brother Lam Trak. Lam Trak entered the training room. A moment later, his eyes opened wide. Before him was a mystical space with a system panel displaying information named Lam Trak gender male. Level intern points 0 matches 1, win rate 0%, rank 573, 620. He was surprised. Wow, are there really this many people in simulated combat? Then he pressed a button on the system, setting a goal to reach the top 10,000. The system announced, starting matchmaking. After a moment, the result appeared matchmaking successful. The battle will begin in 10 seconds. Please be ready. Lam Trak was transported to a desolate land of grass and mountains. He looked around in amazement. The scene changed to a grassland, huh? His opponent saw him looking left and right and spoke up. This is your first time in simulated combat, isn't it? Are you a student? Lam Trak just nodded without replying. The other guy smirked slyly. Every year at the start of the school term, a bunch of newbies come in here. Looks like today's my lucky day. I'll be taking these points. He shouted, Summon! A wild boar with tusks longer than its ears appeared. Beast type Tier 2, Stage 1. The opponent excitedly ordered, Come on, let's have a good fight. The wild boar grunted, following its master bearing its long tusks. Lam Trak calmly thought to himself, Tier 2, Stage 1, no wonder I was matched with a newcomer like me. He shouted, Summon! The rock fiend appeared towering over the boar. The opponent, not realizing the consequences, laughed loudly. I'll show you what an experience gap looks like. The rock fiend stepped forward and delivered a kick, causing the tusked boar to roll over and faint without resistance. The other guy panicked, sweat pouring down his pale face. He just got a reality check. Meanwhile, other battles were raging on. The system continuously announced V-Kin human type Tier 2 Stage 3 rank 573, 541. Spirit Cat Beast type Tier 2 Stage 6 rank 572, 494. Rotten Man-Eating Flower Plant Type, Tier 2, Stage 9, rank 548, 325. 2 days later, the Rock Fiend reached Tier 3, Stage 7. The Snow Maiden ascended to Tier 4, Stage 2, rank 99, 832. Entered the top 100,000 plus 1,000 achievement points. Linze crossed his arms silently, assessing how the high-intensity battles of the past 2 days had raised the Rock Fiend by 3 whole stages. He looked at the Rock Fiend panting at his feet. Let's call it a day. You must be exhausted. Meanwhile, on the internet, people were buzzing about a trending post. A super-strong newcomer made it to the top 100,000 in 3 days with tons of comments. So it was him. Oh my God, a master with a 100% win rate. I heard he is a new student. I ran into him and got wiped out. He is so handsome. Does anyone have any info on this guy? While he was reading the news, Quan Nin woke up and asked, When did you get up? Pang Yun walked by and teased, Oh, if it isn't Lindsay. He stood up and shot back, and aren't you this year's freshman class president? Hearing the sarcasm, Pang Yun snorted coldly. You're really diligent battling so late into the night, but don't be surprised when you hear this. Before he could brag, Lindsay cut him off. Are you dropping out? Ignoring the jab, Pang Yun proudly held up 3 fingers. 3 days. It only took me 3 days to reach the top 150,000. How about that? Quan Nin, who was scrolling on her phone, suddenly exclaimed what Pang Yun thought she was impressed and grinned smugly. But Quan Nin dropped a bombshell. My brother just made it to the top 100,000. Just now, Pang Yun looked like he was struck by lightning and yelled what Lindsay and Quan Nin ignored him and casually walked around the school grounds. Quan Nin sighed. My rank is stuck at 180,000. No matter how hard I try, it's hard to climb, she continued. I want to form a contract with another pet beast. Do you have any suggestions? Lindsay was surprised, since when were you qualified for a second contract? Quan Nin playfully punched his arm. Did you forget I am the only one in class who chose the college difficulty level, and you already passed it? He rubbed his face and smiled sheepishly. Of course I remember, I was just kidding. Then he got serious. What kind of second pet beast do you want to form a contract with? Yeah, Quan Nin said honestly, I haven't figured it out yet. I have to consider its growth potential, rarity, and synergy with Mavimo. Lindsay smiled gently. Don't worry about choosing a pet. I have plenty of ideas. Let me help you, he thought to himself. It is time to help Quan Nin choose a pet beast with a hidden evolution path. Quan Nin's face lit up. That would be great. Let's go to the pet beast store this weekend, okay? He nodded. Sounds good. Not far away in a small pavilion in the school garden, a pretty girl watched Lindsay walk Quan Nin back to her dorm and say a friendly goodbye. She waited for Quan Nin to leave before appearing behind him. You two are so close, like inseparable shadows. Lindsay turned to see Guo Xinyi, she continued. You train together, study together, and eat together. Xinyi stepped closer and asked curiously, so what exactly is your relationship? Lindsay scratched his face evasively. If there's nothing else, I'm going to rest. But Xinyi grabbed his hand, her tone serious. You two could be in trouble. She explained that Tan Yong was attacked by a mysterious person earlier. According to Tan Yong's memory, all of us candidates are his targets. Lindsay asked who is he and what is his goal. Xinyi shook her head. I don't know. I only know he is very strong and has a special soul art that can demonize pet beasts anyway. You must be careful. Lindsay nodded. Thanks for your concern. I am leaving now. He left, leaving Xinyi standing there with a heavy heart. Demonization, her premonition about Quan Nin's future, could they be related, an indescribable sense of unease filled her the next day at the Academy's battle tower. Lindsay stepped into the arena, sat cross-legged, and entered a combat state. His goal was the top 10,000 after a series of battles. Snow Maiden's rank rose to 100,000, and two elsewhere a hidden figure viewed information on a laptop. Lindsay, 18-year-old freshman, simulated battle rank 100002. Spirit C 100% win rate, pet beasts, ice and rock type special abilities unknown. The man Lan Xing smiled and typed on his phone. Interesting. I need to find someone to meet him in the battle zone. The system announced matchmaking successful. Lindsay was surprised to see his opponent wearing a bone mask with strange patterns. He rubbed his chin. Since when did wearing masks in battle become a thing? The man in the bone mask did not answer, and raised his hand, summoning a Tier 4 Stage 1 Earth-type thorn armor turtle and a water-type dragonfish. They appeared as Tier 4 Stage 1 pets, he said smugly. Don't think you're the only one with two pet beasts. Lindsay, unfazed, summoned Snow Maiden and Rock Fiend and smiled. That makes it fair, then looking at his opponent's two Tier 4 beasts. Lindsay frowned and thought to himself, those in the top 10,000 are truly masters. I wonder how strong the top 10 must be. Noticing the change in his expression, the man in the bone mask spoke. I know you're Lindsay, aren't you? I didn't expect you to reach this level so quickly. Not bad. He pointed directly at him, but you used to be just a weakling. Defeat me and enter the top 10,000. You'll become a top-tier powerhouse, then you will be qualified to work with us. Lindsay paid his words no mind. Closing his eyes and tilting his head, he replied coldly, Work with, you don't make decisions for me. Enough with the nonsense, let's start. The man in the bone mask raised his hand, his voice suddenly deepening. I'll show you something special. There's always a bigger fish. The dragonfish shot a powerful jet of water without warning. But Snow Maiden quickly raised an ice shield, blocking the attack in a flash. The ice shield cracked and shattered. The reason was the Rock Fiend, whose eyes were glowing red with killing intent. It charged straight ahead, but the opponent was not to be underestimated. The thorn armor turtle's earthy brown spikes bloomed like a flower, shooting earth darts at the charging Rock Fiend. Momentarily stunned, it quickly demonized its entire body, becoming immune to physical damage. The opponent's attack wasn't over. The thorn armor turtle curled into a ball like a wheel. Bristling with sharp spikes, it shot forward at a terrifying speed. Snow Maiden immediately created a large ice shield to block it, sending the turtle ball flying, but she was in disbelief. News of Lindsay's defeat spread like wildfire, shocking all the rookies. They heard the one who had reached the top 10,000 had been stopped. Messages and comments appeared instantly. The buzz started. He is just a freshman, and he is already that strong. That arrogant kid, I've been waiting for him to fail for a long time. A senior must have taught him a lesson he'll never forget. Lei Pangyun scrolled through the messages and slowly walked over to Lindsay. Lindsay, so you've also run into the group that calls themselves the Symbiosis Group. Haven't you? Lindsay, with his hands in his pockets, replied coldly. So you've joined them then. Raising his fist slightly, his expression unwavering, Lei Pangyun snorted, his voice a challenge. Don't look down on me. Anyone who tries to act cool in front of me will pay the price. Lindsay remained calm and asked, do you know where they come from? Lei Pangyun turned and walked away, tossing back a comment, I'll find out myself, left alone. He put a hand to his chin and mused, "This group seems to be quite large. What is it they want?" "I think Guo Xinyi mentioned them yesterday." The image of the masked man flashed in his mind. Lindsay's eyes narrowed as a bad feeling started to grow. It felt like a storm was about to break as he walked out of the campus. He let his feet wander, his mind deep in thought. Right now, my rock fiend is at Tier 3, Stage 7. And Snow Maiden is at Tier 4, Stage 2, but with only about 1,000 accumulated points left, I can't get the rock fiend to Tier 4 because I'm missing the breakthrough materials. An information panel appeared in his mind. It showed the rock fiend's next evolution form. Spirit of the Great Earth requirements, Tier 3, Stage 9, 100% maturity, 30 high-grade Earth elemental essences, and 3 Yunlin stones. He immediately calculated the cost to buy all the materials with cash. He would need at least 400,000. Just then, a voice called out, and Zhu Xiong ran over from a distance. His booming voice hit a sore spot with Lindsay. "Big bro, I saw the news on the forum. You were defeated. Was the opponent so strong that even you couldn't take them down?" Lindsay glanced at him lightly, touched the scar on his forehead, and replied, "I'm not invincible. Let's change the subject." He raised a hand and asked, "By the way, you're well connected. Do you know how to get high-grade Earth elemental essences and Yunlin stones?" Zhu Xiong was stunned by the request, his eyes wide. "Big bro, how many do you need?" Lindsay answered immediately. 30 high-grade Earth elemental essences and 3 Yunlin stones. Zhu Xiong's face went pale with shock. "Big bro, even if we robbed a bank, we couldn't get that much." But then his eyes lit up as an idea struck him. "Wait a minute, big bro, I know a place where you can find that stuff." A faint smile appeared on Lindsay's lips. "All right," led the way. Zhu Xiong was taken aback. "Huh? You mean right now?" The two of them headed for Lingyun Mountain, a barren, rocky land without a single tree. As they walked, Zhu Xiong explained what had happened.